targets, he gets, 8 to 10 targets a game. Like every game this year, he's getting the targets. Like, so he's getting the looks.
He's just not getting the yards of production that we've been used to the last couple of years.
Or the touchdowns.
Well, Caleb Williams doesn't throw touchdowns.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't throw them, and I don't think he's going to be throwing too many.
It's hard to throw touchdowns when you don't have time to throw. And he hasn't said what Sam Darnold said against the Patriots. But he's seeing ghosts.
Huh. Well, that's what we get for playing in the elements out here. We can hear everything. Somebody's fucking, I don't know what the hell they're in. Maybe it's a Hellcat or I don't know, but I'm sure you just heard that here. Welcome to Atlanta, everybody.
Where the players play, and we ride on things like every night.
Well, speaking of welcome to Atlanta, and I hate to get into this because especially we haven't even done our introduction. Matter of fact, how are we doing today, AC Lee?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. I had a pretty good day at work. Came home. Grandma cooked. So, that's always a plus. And went to the gym at lunch today. Got the steak and cheese flatbread.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those places where you, that's one of the things you sign up for. You can get a solid plate while you're there.
The food is winning me over.
I'm mad that you got there once they just changed it in May. The buffalo chicken wrap. I'm trying to tell you, it was undefeated. It was we used to would sometimes want to go up there just to get it to eat.
Oh, so everyone at work, they go to Planet Fitness Cumberland. And they got like the platinum passes, so they can get me in.
Mm-hmm.
And I just finally said, hey, I got a pricey gym membership. And I'm getting lunch.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that, look, it's an admirable move by you. It's just when you're paying for something, you've got to get your money's worth. And, that's one of the things that they provide. They provide good food, attractive people, men and women.
It's pretty people in the gym. And I like to be in the gym with pretty people. I like to be in the gym with the majority of the people in there are fit, not looking for their fitness journey, starting it.
Yep.
It's a safe place to play basketball because it costs too much to be poor and not have anything going on for you.
Yeah.
Fight over a bullshit foul call.
Right.
Here's the only problem. Breakfast Kitchen doesn't open until 8 o'clock.
Yeah, so any of the early risers, you've got to either get it before you go, or you have to leave early enough to stop at your Waffle House. Or, if you can get a Chick-fil-A biscuit, I guess. There's a couple of different routes you can go. And nobody judges you depending on which one it is. But it would be convenient if you were able to get I don't know, maybe a pancake breakfast with some grits or maybe an oatmeal with a banana. I don't know. If you can get that at 7:15 in the morning as opposed to 8.
Exactly, man. But if this place is called like another broken egg or another broken egg or something like that. But
yeah,
good stuff.
Yeah.
Another thing about that place, I go in there and I realize that one of my aunt's family members.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen because I go to their family functions sometimes.
Yeah.
Uncle's wife. I go, oh, I know this. And then I text my cousin. I'm like, yo, I think your cousin, what family members work at this place? And I told her. She's like, oh yeah. That was definitely her. I said, didn't speak. Maybe next time. But how good would they probably be?
I am doing fantastic, and to put everybody in the know about what we were talking about as we were coming on air. Me AC Lee are in a fantasy football league known as the Locker Room. Very highly competitive league. Typically a decent amount of money on the line for the winner. It's winner takes all. Um, and we consummated the first trade. And, typically there's only one trade a year anyways.
Yeah, one that people care about.
Right. That one that's significant. One where people are swapping out starters.
Yeah, I was concerned that there would be a rise in the group and somebody would try to get in the way of it just out of spite.
I thought that it was pretty even. I mean, initially when I was sending you that deal, I wasn't even going to include Zach Moss, but I thought about it and I said, that's pretty much going to be kind of the tipping point that makes you do it. Because I said, if I throw something else in, it doesn't really address a need for you. And you
Yeah,
can give
tell them what you threw in.
I threw in Zach Moss. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying I wasn't going to throw Zach Moss.
No, the original trade.
Oh, yeah, it was a 4 for 3, but I did it just because you were losing a quarterback. And although you had two, I just felt like, well, let me give him a quarterback in exchange too. That way he gets one. But the initial trade was Justin Jefferson, Terry McLaurin, Zach Moss, and number 16 for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence. And you were going to be sending me back DJ Moore, Mike Evans, and Jaden Daniels.
And I told you I can't drop a player till tomorrow. Leave Trevor on your roster. Not going to touch him.
Well, I knew that I was dropping him because I was like, well, as long as I have Jaden Daniels, I was like, I'll keep Kirk Cousins as my backup. I knew that Trevor Lawrence had no need. And as a matter of fact, what people need to know about this trade, too, is that we completed this on Monday night. So both of them had just played. Obviously, Jaden Daniels put up a historic rookie game. Historic game, period. It wasn't even
more touchdowns than incompletions.
Yeah. He put up a historic game, and he looked the part. He looked like the rookie of the year. He looked like
the high performer he is.
Hey, he looked like a face of a franchise. That's what he looked like to me, and I was convinced because even against Tampa, they got blown out in that game, but he put up the numbers, and I was like, man, he's good. But we already knew that he was good because we kind of wanted him too. Like he was the other quarterback I think out of this draft that we were real. I was high on him. I was like, man, and the fact that he's doing it kind of with, Terry's kind of an established receiver, but I don't know. I mean, outside of Terry, it's kind of patchwork. I mean, it's an old Zach Ertz, and that's really kind of it. I mean, McCaffrey's a rookie. They got rid of Dotson.
He's not that
yeah.
good. Yeah, and luckily for me, man, I made that move for Sam Darnold. What I signed him, cut him the same week.
Yeah,
he was just still there, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna rock out with Sam, man. Shit, he gave me like 25 points last week. So I love the move because now I can double up the Vikings offense. And if not, when Jordan Love is healthy, I still have him.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody was really high on Jordan Love this year, obviously. A lot of people. And, of course, let's throw this in there, too, for the people. So I initially asked about both of them because I just knew that I needed a quarterback. I asked about Jaden Daniels, and you were kind of like, no. And then I was like, no. I was like, man, I can make it worth your while, because I knew what it was going to take to get him. I'm like, well, if I put Justin Jefferson in the deal, you're not going to say no, but I still have to recoup something in the process of doing it. So to me, I thought that it was an even trade, honestly. I don't feel like I fleeced you, and I don't feel like you fleeced me.
No, you and I, when we make trades, it is probably because we communicate so much and we talk so much football and we talk fantasy. We'll talk our pre-draft strategy with each other before the draft, and it's like, niggas gonna do what they gonna do. It's competitive, but it's like I'm trying to think owners who are cool.
Yeah.
it's that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, we can do business together. I'm not going to send you over some BS. You're not going to send me over some BS and expect me to accept it. You might send over some BS. Because you're good to send over a trade every now and then. But it's what it is. When we're trying to do real business, we do square business.
Yeah, we're businessmen. We're
Not
businessmen.
somebody else in the locker room who was talking good business with me earlier today, but by the time we stopped putting an offer in, talking about a starting backup running back and a legit backup running back.
So give me 1 second, Lee. I'm sorry I'm doing this kind of like impromptu. JP is here. I kind of trying to tell him that I'm like, hey, well, I'm recording, but he's not understanding that. So I have to go get him real quick.
Ah, he's back in the country?
Yes, he is. Well, I didn't even know that. It's totally news to me. So I tell you what, because I don't want to be doing this while all this is going on. Give me 1 second. I'm about to come back in. If you could fluff for about 2 minutes.
All right, no problem. All right, so you got me. You got me. Yeah, we were just catching up, talking a little fantasy football. We got a great show for you all today. We got a special guest, our good friend Creole Kourt. You may have seen her before online on a show or two. But yeah, we're gonna have her here. She's a Saints fan. We're gonna, talk a little bit about Hate Week. This week we should finally be up and running for our pregame show. Week 1, just ran into some troubles. Week 2, unfortunately, Parlay Pete wasn't able to make it, so we couldn't do the show. But week 4, third home game. You guys, we're gonna be ready. So today's show, we're going to talk about that. We'll obviously provide commentary on this Cowboys and Giants game because it's on. We'll talk some college football a little bit. We got a big week coming up for our Georgia Bulldogs. Go Dogs, sickle! And who God knows where else we'll go. But some initial thoughts this year. This NFL season has been unique. We've seen major bounce backs from players who were seen as disappointments. Geno's keeping it up. Baker's been looking pretty good this year. And the biggest surprise of them all is Sam Darnold. Right now, Sam Darnold's playing like an MVP. We've also seen Josh Allen prove some doubters wrong. No Stephon Diggs, no problem. The Bills are looking like the best team in the NFL, and right now, Josh Allen's looking like the best quarterback in the NFL. We got the Chiefs, they're 3-0, but they don't look good. They don't look great. Patrick Mahomes isn't playing great. Travis Kelce is still on tour with Taylor Swift. So it's just a different team that we're seeing. I spent a lot of time talking about number 16 from the Jacksonville Jaguars because maybe he's not worth the hype. Maybe he's the most overpaid player in the league, or maybe he's not the most overpaid player in the league. Maybe he's the second, just behind Deshaun Watson, the Dabo effect. What else are we going to talk about? I don't know. This has been a very interesting season. And then I'm looking on my TV right now, and Will Levis has a commercial. I understand because he's like this big male freak that helmets would obviously partner with him and give him a commercial. But why is he on my TV? What product is he actually selling? NFL, and I don't blame players. I blame these companies. Don't put scrubs on my TV. Don't put unproven guys on my TV. I get you may want to, Baker was a Heisman Trophy first overall pick, cool. But Will Levis, he shouldn't be on my TV. You shouldn't be looking at him. He shouldn't have commercials. I I wouldn't say Hillman's Mayo is better than Blue Plate because what? Go get your money. Go get your money. Nice slam tackle. Just throw him down. Get out of there, fella. Will Levis, yeah. Will Levis with commercials. Parlay Pete, man. He really let me here. I know I can talk about this. So, building a new podcast. We'll debut it on the same feed, YouTube, same stream, but it will eventually have its own home. We don't have a name for it yet. We're still working on that, but I'm here in Cartersville with the guys. It's me, it's off camera room, it's Dean, it's Shaw, it's V, and we just sit there and we just kicking it, telling those stories, talking about current events. It's way more of a poppy current event type podcast and less sports. We definitely dabble in sports, but it's not a sports show. And for me, creatively, it's super fun because it gets me back doing a different type of pod. You know, it brings back the BS and the Bahrain days, the brunch and Bahrain days, because we're all in the studio together. We're laughing, we're making jokes, we're telling stories, we're telling lies. And it's way less, I don't know, less research, less brain work. But it's a show I'm super excited about. And I can't wait to debut it for you all. Hopefully in a couple of weeks. We're going through that whole building chemistry process, you know, getting the practice reps in and learning how we all can pod together. And I'm sure not many people are interested in having a conversation about podding, but I am. Chemistry is so important. And you can think just sitting down with your friends is going to be a great podcast, but you're actually having to have a structured conversation. You can't have awkward pause. You can't have all the silence. You got to talk. And you got to make it entertaining. But anyway, probably Pete's back. So,
bring a beer. You were like, I'm not talking.
No, that's what I was trying to tell you. I'm like, we're recording.
What's up, Pete?
He can't hear you.
Okay, I got you.
Lee said, "What's up?"
What's going on? We trying to.
What's happening?
You get one of those beers.
That's what I meant when I said like the load. I was like, take it.
Oh. I thought you wanted me to hold it.
No, I was really trying to take one, but you got it.
Here, actually, you know what? Here, maybe I can put it on. Let me see how I can hear you real quickly. I'm sorry, guys, we're messing up the. Okay, go ahead.
You're messing up the audio experience.
Oh, nah, we can't put Drew shit on here. Hit airplay. See what happens.
What's going on?
Nah, it's not good enough. Here, I gotta keep my headphones in.
Even if we put it on YouTube,
okay, can you hear me?
On that TV.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, perfect. What were you fluffing about?
Change the internet.
I was fluffing about this new show I'm doing with the Cartersville guys. I the football stuff, and then I was just like drawing a total blank. So I said, "Let me talk about this."
Yeah, and the thing is that, and I think that's why even with that trade, you wanted to, you're like, yeah, I don't fucking want them anyways, you know. But it also didn't help that they were losing 47-10 either.
No. Oh my God. Hey, I'm gonna email you a link.
You can check on that TV in there too. There's one in there. That one's typically on. Like it typically is on.
I'm gonna email you a link to watch a Trevor Lawrence conversation. Yeah,
send that to me because I want to be able to dissect it. How long did it go? Well, you got to talk like an hour.
Conversation. Like 10, 11 minutes.
Oh, okay. So it's not long, but you guys were in the stew.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, as most people from the great city of Cartersville, they're going to defend Trevor Lawrence at all costs.
Yeah.
And
well, and there's nothing wrong with defending the guy that's from the city that you're from, but like at the same time, there has to be some realisticness that gets tossed into this stuff. He's lost his last 8 or 9 starts, right?
Yeah.
So he's lost 8 or 9 starts. He makes $55 million a year. He's already kind of at a poverty type franchise. He's had such a highly successful like pre-NFL career. A lot of it gets blamed on that first year because he had a second year. He makes the playoffs with Doug. They win a playoff game. Third year, third year they have the number one seed with 5 games left in the seed. If you remember, they were like 9-3 or something like that.
Yeah, 8-3.
And then he got hurt on Monday night against the Bengals. Then they proceed to just lose out.
Yep.
And now you're starting 0-3, and Doug Peterson is DeMar Hamlin walking.
And coincidentally, or ironically, DeMar Hamlin picked him off.
Yeah, he did. He did pick him off. And do you know? Did Stephen A. Did he end up starting off first take with something like that, or
no idea? Two things. So my issue with Trevor, right, is that he get paid $55 million, and his defenders are saying, "What about his supporting cast?"
Yeah.
Well, he got Brian Robinson, first round receiver. They signed Gabe Davis. Evan Ingram is a legitimate tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Zay Jones is still there.
Yeah.
I think Christian Kirk got hurt, but he's on the roster.
Well, Christian Kirk is still what would be considered. He got paid like a wide receiver one, but he's still considered. Even on most teams, he would be a good 2, or he's supposed to be a good 2.
Yeah. So when you get $55 million, it's not about the supporting cast because they paid you to cover up the supporting cast.
Yeah.
You want to get the Falcons first?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into Falcons first. And I guess once Courtney comes on, I hope I didn't spoil the big surprise.
I said she was coming on.
Yeah, let's get into Falcons first.
Hey, we'll recap and we'll preview.
Yeah.
We are all here to do what we do.
Well, the big game played at Mercedes-Benz Dome was Sunday night. Had a little welcoming a very important member of the Falcons franchise into the Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Unanimous vote. 3 hot dogs, free soda. Our owner, Arthur Wentz.
Free chips.
Oh, yeah.
You guys got chips, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't eat any of that free shit.
You didn't eat one hot dog the entire time? They're giving out hot dogs and you didn't have one?
Well, here's the thing. The line was long, obviously, because it's free food. And I went to the tailgate. I was at the tailgate for like 2.5 hours, so I ate.
Yeah. Hey, you want to know something real interesting? 10 minutes. Yeah. You want to know something real interesting? This was my first healthy scratch from a Falcons game. I've never missed a Falcons game and been at home. Actually, yes. I've never missed a home Falcons game and been at home and not something have gone on. Like, for instance, like I missed the Colts game last year because my brother had passed away. So the day he passed away like the day before. So that's it.
I got 3 for you.
Go ahead.
You skip Brady.
No, I didn't. We went to Brady. We saw Brady.
No, the year before. Because remember I met you at Hooters after the game. And that's when we almost got shot.
You know what? You are right. And it's funny because JP was with us. Yeah.
Yeah, JP brought the shoot.
Well, I know. Well, what it is me and JP were going to Hooters. We would go to Hooters for the 1 o'clock spread to see if we could get something going, some momentum. And yeah, but I don't remember what the reason behind me not. I know why I didn't go to that game though. I didn't want to sit. I know it sounds crazy. I didn't want to sit on the other side where our other seats were, and my dad and my brother, they went. So that's why I didn't go to that game. And actually, as a matter of fact, we gave the other tickets away too. So it wasn't even that like, oh, I could have went, but like we just gave the other ones away. So it's just kind of like, but okay, that's one. Now give me the other two.
Your daughter's birthday.
But that doesn't count either. That's another reason. But that's like a reason. I'm talking about like no reason.
Well, no, then Sunday wasn't a healthy stretch. You gotta think it.
Yes. 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 But yes. It was a circumstance to why I couldn't go.
Yeah. That wasn't a healthy stretch.
You know what? You're right. You're right.
You had to step away from the team for personal reasons.
Yeah, exactly. It was a personal reason. Okay, that's fair.
It's not like Aaron Rodgers missing minicamp to go to Egypt. It's one of those things where it's like, no, the team understands. The locker room, coaching staff's behind you.
Yeah. But tell us a little bit about the atmosphere. I know obviously everybody was excited to get their hot dogs. T.I., which I saw from Georgia followers. I had no idea that T.I. and his daughter did Live Your Life. I'm sure that was like just dope. It was dope for me to see on GA followers because I'm like, man, obviously that's like you could argue that might be T.I.'s biggest hit.
Yeah,
certainly from a
mainstream.
Yeah, from a mainstream pop music perspective, that's his biggest hit.
Well, yeah, he's trying to avoid all the prison time.
Yeah. And so, he was already going, though. That was the thing.
But he was trying to get his sentence down, by showing he's a good citizen. So that whole album was about, arguably his best album was him just trying to tell judges, hey, I'm not on that street shit.
But I love Paper Trail. Paper Trail's T.I. Overall, that's his best album. Overall.
I think T.I. fans would disagree, but I agree with you.
Oh, no, overall it is. It's from front to back, it's the best one. I'm not saying that it's my favorite, but I think it's the best one from front to back. I would argue that probably, you could go trap music, but you can go King. It's a couple of different directions you can go.
Urban Legend.
I'm on FaceTime. My bad.
What are you doing here? It's got a mom and pop operation now.
Right. You're right.
Professional outfit. Let's get back to the Falcons. So being in the building, shockingly, it was the Falcons' home game.
Give me a number because when you were walking in, you told me you saw a lot of red and it wasn't red and black, and that was more red and yellow.
Yes, but once we got in there and they gave out the white flags, and the first Chiefs third down or first time it was time to wave the flags.
Yeah.
The whole stadium was white.
Okay.
Because you know how some games have the flags and it'd be pockets of flags? No, it was like the wave was working on all three levels.
Well, you know what so from the TV standpoint, this is what I'll say. And Chris, of course, he had to comment on it. You know how Chris is. He's like, it's just so much red between both of these teams, we can't tell. And they talked about obviously historically how everything is when you come to Atlanta, like when they showed a highlight from the Pittsburgh game, how much yellow was there. Even though, to be fair, it was a lot of Steelers fans there, but it was more of us there for that game too.
So far, Falcons faithful have been good. We got to win these next two because our fans support us the first quarter of the season, and then if we lose hope,
Well, and that is why, and I know that we'll get to talk about this a little bit later, but that is why this game is so important. This game is everything. Not only because it's your biggest rival, but B, you need the win. You gotta stay in it. And losing this game and dropping to 0-3 at home and 1-3, while the Saints go to 3-1, it almost, I'm not going to say it eliminates you from the division, but gosh, it
eliminates our home field advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it in the Arthur years, and I know you've seen it countless years before. If we know halfway through the season that it's not going to be a good season, you can ticket holders sell their tickets.
It does that, but then at the same time, you got to think with this scenario that we have right now, it starts to lean towards a Penix thing too, which is one of the things I think that I feared the most when we drafted him, because I said if Kirk Cousins doesn't come out healthy, it's going to be nothing but put Penix in, and I kind of honestly, I feel like what Rod did, I don't think Penix needed that much time, but I feel like what Rod did was not show enough of Penix for that reason alone, too, so that Penix didn't look great in preseason, and everybody looked towards it and say, man, no.
You know what? Probably think that's one of the best non-obvious deep cut Falcons points you've made in a very long time.
Well, it's factual though. Like, it's factual. I don't know. It just kind of sets up, because everybody knows this season for sure. I don't even want to say it's playoff or bust. I think it was win the division or bust. Like, that is what this season is. And anything short of that, we could make the playoffs, and if we make it as the 7 and lose in the first round, this season was a failure, I think, in a lot of people's eyes. As crazy as that sounds, we haven't been in playoffs 6 years, but like, it would be considered a failure if we got in as not winning the division and we got in and we lost the playoff game. I think that would be considered a failure.
It would be, and with Rob being here in Atlanta, but also spending that time in Tampa during the Michael Vick experience, he understands how much this city starves for a black quarterback. And that's what put asses in seats, and that's what has the tailgates going. And he did not want to show too much opinions, because if he did, niggas are going to be clamoring for the black quarterback. But you know what? That reminds me, talking about tailgating. Atlanta has a tailgating problem. There are a lot of good tailgates out there, and typical tailgate etiquette is if you don't know the people, you don't show up. But if you do, you better have a case of beer in hand and a bottle, and they'll let you pull up. We now got food trucks at the tailgate and people with these mobile bars selling booze.
Was that what was going on out there?
On North Side, yeah. So when I went to park, and because you weren't there, and I didn't go to the liquor store before I got there, I just walked on North Side.
That's actually what they've done offensively and defensively.
Sit down.
Yeah, sorry, he just put together. Well, here's the thing. So I think obviously, as everybody can see, I'm on my phone, and that's been kind of the issue. We've had an internet issue, but JP has somehow, some way, rigged this thing to where my computer now has internet, and I'm almost tempted to really put that on here and then put the game on my phone.
No, fuck that. Sorry.
But yeah, like me.
Full support of the show, but I've been conned to come here because I was bringing beer.
I didn't con you. I told you to go to the place. I said I'd meet you after the show.
He did say that, but I conned myself into coming here. There's no TV. The TV doesn't work in here, so I thought we were watching the game over here, listening.
Here, put it over there. So he can hear it.
Yeah, so this nigga selling barbecue out there, food trucks and stuff, and people selling Casamigo shots. Like, we got 3 for $5. Well, that's not liquor. That's watered down. This is Atlanta. Ain't nobody giving up 3 shots for $5.
Yeah, even in the small little bullshit shot cups. You know what I mean? Like the ones at the tailgate. Like one of those. Like even that is too much of a steal for somebody.
Yeah, no, this is Atlanta. We know what you're doing.
And would you say those little shot glasses, maybe those are 1/3 of an ounce, or maybe they could be 2/3, but probably like 1/3 of an ounce.
Yeah, probably half a shot, but you know what? It is it's the perfect shot for watching for like going to a football game.
You get your tongue wet.
Get your tongue wet, and you're probably sipping a beer at the same time.
Yeah.
So you're not over drinking by taking 4 or 5 grown man shots, having 2 beers, and going in the game and getting a cocktail and 2 or 3 beers.
Yeah.
Look, bro, I just called this shit.
So yeah, I like that tailgate environment in all parlay Pete just because it's not tailgate. It's not about hustling and making a coin.
Well, it should be yeah, exactly, and it should be about camaraderie. And my thought is that look, you got to bring ass to get ass, right? Like, so I think any and everybody respects it. Okay, this dude, he didn't just show up like empty-handed or anything like that. Like, he bought a 12-pack. Hell, a 6-pack. He bought something. He's all right by me. He's a Falcons fan. It should be more about camaraderie and everybody bringing it in.
No, you know.
Oh my God!
You know, we could have drafted him instead of AJ Terrell.
Wow. Yes.
There's a flag.
There is a. But it sounds like it might be out. It's a
Yeah,
flag.
they kicked the field goal.
Lee says that it was good.
No, they kicked the field goal.
No, you're saying Dallas kicks a field goal.
Yeah.
Oh, great. You got called back.
No, never mind. No, they didn't. They got touchdown.
Wait, you said no, they didn't?
No,
Damn it, Lee, what's going on?
No, they got a touchdown. It just looked like the extra point was from super far away. So
It's a touchdown. It's a touchdown, bro.
That's because, you know why? Because he got excessive celebration, it sounds like.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because, yeah, the extra point looked like a field.
Wow, that just killed our ticket.
Yeah, 55 yards.
Okay, let's get the game. Parlay Pete. Leave the lock in.
I still got $20.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the phone at 10 o'clock.
What do we have? What do we do?
One of our legs
Jesus
was
Christ,
down as long as 79 yards.
How was the game on TV? Listen to Chris Collinsworth.
We also needed him to get 6 receptions, and I think that was his 6th reception.
So
it's like he's cleared the leg.
So, here's the thing. I'm not used to hearing Chris call our games, period, right? Because even on Sunday night, we typically aren't on the road, even in those type of games. So I thought it was refreshing in a sense, but one of the things that I took away was that the national teams don't watch the Falcons. And for good reason. Like, over the last few years, of course, we know why they haven't watched this. But they didn't watch. He doesn't watch the Falcons. And so, guys are out there talking about one of the things that Chris said, I think that was funny, was him, talking about Kyle Pitts. And it's just kind of like, he's like, Kyle Pitts, he had this 1,000-yard year. He's like, they've had to shuffle the deck at quarterback, and that's all he's really needed. And it's like, no, it's like, yes, that's a part of it. But then another part of it is that Kyle Pitts hasn't lived up to the expectations. And it's showing already early this year. So it's a lot of narrative stuff.
Yeah, one thing I would say about doing sports media as we talk games and stuff, there's such a blind spot by the most popular pundits of non-national teams and teams that aren't consistently good.
Yeah,
it's just like you don't watch them. You're not familiar with what's going on. Okay, you watched last 2 weeks film. You did your production meetings, but you're not locked into what's going on here. And quick sidebar, it takes me to like I always say, Stephen A. doesn't watch games. There's no way in hell.
No, he doesn't.
But I was listening to Stephen A. today. They were talking. We're talking some college football, like Georgia versus Alabama.
Right.
And Stephen A. was from Alabama, a football fan.
He showed up here like 8:50. All right, listen.
And I'll tell you, I rarely ever want to hear a black man from Hollis Springs talk to me about SEC football. It's just not in me.
Right.
college football is not a thing in New York. You don't really have real college football in New York, you know?
Well, exactly. Well, exactly. Because think about it. When you think about up north football for college football, Penn State probably is the first team that comes to mind, or Notre Dame even. And think about it,
That's
Notre
the
Dame's
Midwest.
in Indiana.
That's the Midwest.
I know, but I'm just saying they still look at them as their team. Like if you're from up north, it feels like Penn State. Those will be the teams that they kind of look at as like, oh yeah, I'm a. If you ask if somebody that's a college football fan up north, they're not a Rutgers fan. You know what I mean? They're not a
Unless you're in the Ray
BC
Rice.
fan.
No, they're not a Syracuse fan.
Yeah, exactly. They would probably fall under Penn State or Notre Dame.
Or they say, I don't watch college football. I just watch the Giants.
Or the Jets.
Yeah, it's like synonymous. He doesn't watch college football,
Yeah.
but he does pre-draft shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, Stephen A was talking about Alabama versus Georgia. And I'm listening to this conversation. I'm like, why let Stephen A talk college football? He doesn't know. I don't want to hear Stephen A mad dog when he's going to talk college football. Can't find bomb and let him go.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the Falcons. What's the biggest takeaway from the game?
So the biggest thing that I took away from the game was in the second half, we have a scoring problem.
Okay.
We have a scoring problem, and we almost become predictable in a sense of we wanted to run the ball, and that was obvious because we had so much success, not just in the first game, but in the second game too. We had success running the ball in both of those games, but we were almost to the point at where it became predictable. Either you're going to run the ball with this outside zone scheme, or you're throwing Darnell Mooney or Ray McLeod this like wide receiver screen. And
we got to do that.
And I feel like that was kind of our downfall on both of the drives at the end of the game. You couldn't really go back to that because you knew that was almost expected. And if you notice on that last play of the game, they actually ran the same play that Bijan scored on earlier in the game. It was the same play. And I understand Kirk Cousins not being able to sneak the ball potentially, but that's why you do put in Michael Penix.
Yeah.
You put Michael Penix in the game. You let him set up shop and you let him get that yard. And I don't know if that's something that maybe Arthur Smith is going to – not Arthur Smith. Raheem is going to put into his repertoire. I'm not 100% sure, but it's definitely something – I got to put it in close. It's definitely something that I expect him to do moving forward because we have to figure out, well, what are we going to do when we need an edge? Because that's basically kind of what that was. It wasn't really a whole yard that we even needed. And I just feel like
the outside zone.
Well, that's the last thing you want to do. The last thing you want to do is hand the ball to somebody, and when they have it, they're not moving forward. And that's kind of what that was. He was already behind the backfield, and all they knew as long as we don't give up where we're at, they're not getting it no matter what. And they got back there. And then another thing that I wouldn't have done either in that situation, knowing that you're already limited with two of your starting O-linemen out. And I'm not going to say, I would have thrown on that play, but I think I would have drawn up a better play before that because they did give Algier the ball that play before, and I wasn't mad at it, but I almost felt like, run it again in a weird way.
But, play calling has been questionable all year, and I think that speaks to Zach Robinson being a first-time play caller.
Yeah.
Yes, he did touch the hem of Sean McVay's garment, but McVay was calling the plays.
Yeah.
And he wasn't in that OC. He wasn't in his role very long because he was under O'Connell.
Right.
And O'Connell, he hasn't been gone long. So I like to play call when you talk about our inability to score in the second half. It's adjustments. The second half is about adjustments, and teams are adjusting to what we're doing. And it seems like Zach is just sticking to his pregame notes, and it's just inexperience. And Michael Barney talked about this. Who's coaching the coach? Because somebody has to coach the coach. Whether it's the GM, whether it's a legitimate football owner, whether it's a seasoned coordinator or position coach that's on the staff that's been a head coach before, that, like a Spags. Spags was on a younger coach's staff, or like actually Wakefield's better than him.
Right.
He helped coach Sean McVay when he was the DC in LA because he'd been there. So yeah, who's helping Zach Robinson be a better coach?
Well, the thought would be Ra. Ra is the person that you kind of look at. And not only because he had been a head coach before, but now Ra has dipped and dabbled on both sides of the ball. So he has familiarity with the offensive side of the ball. It's not like he's just dumb, right? Like, so you would think that, especially even on a fourth down call like that, he maybe whispers and tell him this is what we need to do. A kind of like a veto, an override of no, this is what we're doing. Now I don't care which call you call, but we're gonna do it one way or another this way.
So Nick Wright made a great point. One thing the Chiefs don't do is beat themselves.
Yeah.
But they win a lot of games because other teams beat themselves because of the fear.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes wasn't great. The Chiefs' offense wasn't great. Were they getting good yards? Yes, but they weren't great.
I swear, every play that they got, it just seemed like it was 3-4 yards a play.
It was 3-4 yards or stop or no yards. But they weren't scoring a lot of points. You got some timeouts left. There's 5 minutes. There's 5 minutes left in the game, so you got 3 timeouts and a 2-minute warning. We missed the pass interference call. That's just the weekly Mahomes call. Hey, can you turn down Al, please?
What it is he out physicaled him. They got out physical.
Yeah,
basically.
And you know what? Take the 3. You're down 2. We have a different game.
Yeah.
We have a totally different game. And the pick right before halftime definitely hurt us.
It did. Let me tell you, that actually is
that
but look, that's what changed the game, honestly, I don't blame Kirk for the pick, but like that actually changed the game because it was 14-10. They had the ball. They didn't score. I'm trying to think. No, they didn't turn the ball over. Something happened, though, because they could have scored too. Or no, or maybe it is that they did score. Maybe it was 14-7. They kicked the field goal. Yes, that's what happened. It was 14-7. We made them settle for a field goal. We had 50-something seconds left. We ran like 2 plays, turned the ball over, and then they still had enough. I mean, we held them, of course, but they kicked the field goal. And it's like, and they knew that they were getting the ball to start that second half, and they kicked another field goal to start the second half. And it's like that is what turned that whole game around.
Yeah, 6-point swing. Something that Bill Belichick is big about, something that Andy Reid does, is dominating the middle eight. And for those who don't know what the middle eight is, it's the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes.
Yep.
You can score 2 times in the middle eight, you're probably going to win again. Because you essentially get still a possession.
And the one thing I think that Ra had to be keeping in the back of his head was, man, we're not. They're keeping the ball out of our hand, right?
Yeah.
Like they're dominating the time of possession. We're not getting enough possessions. Yeah, we scored quick on that first drive. It was a beautiful drive.
Oh God, lady, Zach Robinson's first 15 was amazing.
Yeah, it was a beautiful drive, man, and like it had me pumped up. I'm like, man, that's what I'm fucking talking about. Like, we're gonna fucking win this game. That was all I was saying to myself. And then as the game went on, I'm like, man, Carson still keeps getting fucking 3 and 4 yards on first down every time, and they're second and mid. Then they'll throw a quick pass to, maybe they'll get a first down with Xavier Worthy using his legs. He'll get 8 yards when it's 2nd and 6. Carson still goes up the middle, gets another 3. Pat throws it to Rashee Rice. He gets one for 4 or 5. Now it's 3rd and 2, and they can kind of do whatever they want, whether that's Pat going back and picking apart the defense, giving it to Steele to get another 2 or 3 yards to keep the chains moving, or Pat can take off. And it's just like they set them – Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes set themselves up to succeed like the entire night.
But you know what else Andy Reid does that a lot of coaches aren't doing?
What's that?
He kicks field goals.
Yeah.
Now think about it. They have the best player in the league, best play caller in the league, the potential to have the most explosive offense in the league. Like, on any given day, we don't care what the numbers say. We don't care that Travis Kelce's still on tour with Taylor Swift. On any given day, we won't be shocked if the Chiefs go for 4.
Right, because we know that they're capable of doing it against anyone.
But I like Big Dick Nick, who we'll get to later. Andy Reid will kick a field goal on 4th and 3. He'll kick a field goal on 4th and 2.
4th and 3, 4th and 2 on the opposing team's 20.
Yeah, he'll take 3. Let me give these points.
Well, right. He said it's a successful drive. We scored.
So when you sit here and the coach in the league with the most Super Bowl rings, coaching today, if he will kick a field goal, and he's not like Belichick, a legacy most rings in the league. No, his last 2 were the last 2 years.
Yeah.
He's won. He's aging. He's aging. He's getting better with age.
Right.
And he's taking 3. He's a better quarterback than me. And he's better at calling plays than me or my OC. Why the fuck am I not taking?
Well, when he takes these 3, you know what he's doing? He's creating a problem for the other team in a sense of now you really have 0 margin for error because when you go for it, it will burn you. But you feel like you have to go for it because you know that we're going to score, whether that's 3 or 6. You know that we're going to put the points up on the board. So now it creates this problem for you where you got to make this decision of, gosh, do I really want to give him the ball back and they potentially go down and get 3 or get 6? Like, I have to make this conscious decision. What's going to be best for the team in this situation? How have we been playing against them? How long we had the ball? It was a master class of coaching.
But that's what Andy does week in and week out. And we're seeing we've got to get this off of the Falcons. But we're starting to see more and more this year, year in and year out, these coaches don't understand content. They have their play sheet. They have their spreadsheets for the percentages. It's on the TV. AWS Technology or ESPN says go for it. We've been getting our ass kicked all game. Or the Chiefs, we've kept the ball all game. We're getting 4 yards of play.
Yeah.
We take 3. Because when we get it back, we know we're going to get first downs.
Well, and there's no analytic for that. There is no analytic for common sense. And I think that everybody's trusting the numbers too much, and that's why we're getting kind of some of the results that we're getting in a lot of these games because guys are overthinking the simple things of if you're Philadelphia, for instance, in the situation they were in with the Saints multiple times, that first drive, the score was 0-0. Why not take the lead? You're on the road. Why not take the lead? Second time, you're down 3-0. Why not tie the game up?
Because spreadsheet said go for it, Nick. Pull your dick out and put it on the table. Man, if we come into the NBA, and we play basketball, think about this. You can have a good 3-point percentage, but if you're having an off day, you just can't find your shot. You don't always shoot a wide open.
Right.
You could be having a great day and everything's going in, and you might sidestep pull up over 3 people. That's a bad shot. But you're feeling good, and guess what? It goes in.
Well, it plays to the situation.
Exactly. Like the analytics in football may say, hey, go for it. But your right guard's been getting his ass kicked all day. You're playing your second string center, and your left guard is actually a converted center, third string center.
And you use one of your timeouts already. And so even if you get in a situation where you do get it, more clock is going off, and it's not like you scored.
Exactly. The analytics don't create context, and I don't know, man. Technology in a lot of spaces has definitely been better for our. But in sports, man, one of the reasons why we like sports is the human dynamic in sports.
Right.
You know, players can make mistakes. Brock Purdy, who was Mr. Irrelevant, can end up playing like a top 5 quarterback in the league in Europe. Brandon Ayuk can sit out all the training camp and show back up and look terrible. Where Jamar Chase can sit out all the training camp, and by week 3, he's Jamar Chase again. CeeDee Lamb sits out all the training camp, and he didn't miss the beat coming into week 1.
Right.
The human aspect. Patrick Mahomes can have a terrible game against the Bengals. Joe Burrow can actually play pretty well, and the Chiefs still win because of human shit. I don't want my sports to become robots.
Right. Well, stuff that you can't quantify.
No, you can't quantify a man's pride. That says, you know what? I'm tired of getting my ass kicked. I'm about to punch this guy in the mouth and drive him into the fucking sideline. No machine can quantify that.
Yep.
So for all you red pillars out there, no matter how cool, realistic the blow-up dolls get, it's never going to feel like grade A woman.
Well, and actually now it kind of gets me to my point. And what I wanted to ask you was the thinking in the stadium on that first, the second to last drive, was the thinking, hey, we need to go for it on 4th and 5? And we were at about like the 8 or maybe even the 7 or something.
So I was in a bad spot for that drive. I was in the box. So it was not, I wasn't with the people to get a feeling for it. But I went downstairs after that drive, and the Falcons fans were leaving. No. I take it back. When we got the ball, I went down, and I stopped to watch the 4th down on the TV. It was empty then. And then by the time I get to my seats, everybody.
But I guess my question
gave up after the second drive.
But I'm saying, I guess my question is, after Pitts didn't get the PI.
I wasn't like in the seats around the fans to hear what they were saying.
Okay, because that's what I was walking. Like, because you know how it can get where everybody's like, man, they better go for it here, like type shit. And yeah, I was just curious as to if that was what the mood was. Like everybody, because even for me, after we didn't get the PI, I said, you know what, you probably go for this. And not because you don't take the points. Like I don't think he could have made a wrong decision. If you trusted your defense, you couldn't make a wrong decision. Which the defense got the ball back. Like they did what he knew the worst case scenario was, we don't get it. But he had to have trusted his defense enough to do it.
Yeah, I think the defense has earned that trust all year. Our defense has been good.
And some people can say it's a double-edged sword, to where it's like, well, no, he didn't trust his defense, because if he did, he would have taken the 3 and expected them to do the same thing. But my thought is, on the contrary, he does trust them. He trusts them enough to where he feels confident that they're so deep in their own territory that we're going to get the ball back. So but he wants to be the one in control. I think was more of what this was. It was more about who's in control of the game as opposed to do I trust my defense to stop Patrick Mahomes. I just think that it was more of a I want to be in control of the game. I don't want to be chasing the tail. I want to be the tail that's being chased. Like,
agreed. So we got 30 minutes before our guest shows up, so we got to push. But
yeah.
All in all, my biggest takeaway from the game is we definitely got some work to do. But we have a good football team.
Yes.
We have a good football team.
Yes.
All right, what do you go from here, Parlay Pete? Tough football watching day Sunday because I was traveling.
Yeah.
So I did watch the Saints and Big Dick Nick.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what, Vic Fangio put on a fucking clinic.
Well, I think considering how hot that offense was and the momentum that they had going into that game, and really, the air had kind of what seemed like the air maybe had came out of Philly because of how they lost to us, and they were on a shorter week. It was impressive what Philly did, but this is what I'll say. Dennis Allen showed why he was Dennis Allen in that game. At the end of the day, how do you let Dallas Goedert go for 170? I don't know. That was just, I was a little blown away. And then on that play that set up the game-winning score, it was just kind of like, are you guys going to fucking, put a man on this guy? Like, he's already got 100 yards. I don't understand. Of all people on the field, like, don't you think he should put a man? He's got 10. Going into that catch, he had 9 catches for 100 yards. Like,
and AJ Brown didn't play. And Bobby Smith was out. Who was catching the ball? Jahan Dotson? Big Fangio, great job. Took a page out of Belichick's book against McVay in the Super Bowl. Got 6 guys in the front, one linebacker. Beat me up the middle.
My goodness.
Fangio almost got fired. Never got fired.
Yeah.
Kellen Moore, he looks a little off in the face, doesn't he?
Something's off.
He looks like a mouth breather, doesn't he?
Look, he looks like a guy that knows that this is his last shot in the league. Because you got to think, if it doesn't work out there,
he's going to college.
Well, he'd have to go to college or,
yeah,
right. He starts going back. He's going backwards. Because think about it, there were a lot of people that at one point thought that he could be a head coach.
I wasn't those people. I wasn't those people at all. The Cowboys have fake comeback against Baltimore.
Yeah.
That's what I took away from it. I'm back. Not really. I wasn't worried. Anything else crazy happened last week that you care about?
Absolutely. The Giants beat the Browns.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 2 worst contracts in the league came out of Dabo's nuts.
Yeah, and here's the even crazier part about it. That game wasn't just big because it was an upset. It was more so along the lines of, wow, you really couldn't beat Daniel Jones. Like, that's an eye-opening if you're the Browns at home. I think that there's a bigger issue going on in Cleveland than people are, wanting to talk about. Yeah, we could talk about, Deshaun Watson's not who he was. Sure, I get that. But the defense is who got gashed by Daniel Jones, too. So it's like, is there something that we're missing with this team? And Stefanski, we know he's a good coach. So it's just kind of like, how do you explain dropping one to the Giants at home after they started the game off? They scored in like the first 2 minutes because they got a good kick return, and literally the first or the second play of the game, Deshaun Watson threw a touchdown to Amari Cooper. So you got spotted 7 basically early, and somehow, some way, you got outscored. What?
Hold on, brother, Pete, real quick. They just showed this couple on screen on the game. They were definitely arguing. Like,
They were
she's
arguing?
smart and shit, and like you can see her face disgusted. He just sitting there like, how we doing this? We're at the game. You gotta go to work in the morning. I really want to bring you to the game because I knew you was gonna do this shit. Can you not?
Yeah, was he? Is it Giants fans? I assume.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can just
So a little
tell.
New York couple. They're probably not even really Giants fans. That's the funny thing.
I mean, probably, you know how it is when you take your girl somewhere that you don't really want to take her to.
Yeah.
Because you know you're not going to enjoy the event the way that you want to enjoy it because she's going to be talking to you about stuff that doesn't matter or asking you questions about the event, and you're like, stop, like, that lady at the concession stand was like so rude, and I was just trying to ask the question. You know, you see how long that line is? She doesn't want to fucking talk to you. Fucking busy and get the fuck out the way.
Right. Yeah. Well. More importantly, it's like look. I'm here to watch this game. You said that I don't spend enough time with you. You said I never invite you to games. We're at the fucking game, and now you're not watching the fucking game. I don't know what you think I do at these things, but I do it to watch. I come here to watch. like, and I spend good money doing it too. I'm not here
To talk to you.
Yeah, that would have talked to anyone. Like, I'm here to watch the game live. You know, if it's not about what's going on the field, I don't really want to talk about it. You know, but yeah, that type of stuff happens all the time. I'm fortunate to get caught on national TV though.
Yeah.
Well, not national TV, but subscribe TV.
Yeah. Yeah, I think women should know that oftentimes men don't invite you all to like games or to like watch parties, not because they're hiding anything from you. It's because you're not as in tune to this as we are. And we can already predict the argument when we get in the car because I ignored you the entire time.
Right.
Yeah, Monday night was Jake was we talked about it on the top end. Was Jake Daniels coming out party. Shout out to Mama Daniels. She raised a good one.
Shout out to Mama Daniels, huh?
Yeah, I mean she raised a great son. He's a great quarterback. They think he's made the right stuff. He cares about all the important stuff. I'm kind of tired of the non-athletic media saying, "Oh man, he takes too many hits and he's so skinny." Hey dog, he's been the skinniest person on the football field his entire life. He'll figure it out. I promise.
Now, what does that have to do with Mama Daniels?
Well, she raised him. I thought it would be important to give credit to his mother for being a good, strong role model, putting the right people around him.
Well, what about the father? I mean, the father, he could have done more of this too.
I don't see him on Instagram. I didn't see him on draft night. I guess the camera's missing.
Right. I feel like you were giving a shout out to Mama Daniels for other reasons, but you want to know what's funny? She kind of looks like Sade a little bit, just a little.
Sade would never sound the same to me.
I know that, but you know that's why I had to throw that in there. But she actually kind of does look a little like Sade too, though.
You talk about heavy fumble that I wish we could like talk about on the pod.
One day, potentially.
That night probably could have went crazy. Anyways, back to football. Yeah, is Josh Allen the best quarterback in the league today? This season?
I tell you what, through 3 games, he's a league MVP.
Only second to Sam Darnold.
No, it's Josh Allen.
I thought Sam Darnold had a close second.
You want to know what Minnesota is? Minnesota looks like possibly the most complete team in the NFL. They play really good.
DC. Quarterback looking good. Receivers, they can run the ball.
And the defense is lights out. And all of this, think about it, they lost Daniil Hunter.
But they gained Brian Flores.
Yeah. And look, B-Flow is showing everybody why he should have never lost his job in Miami.
And for being honest, not Josh, Mike McDaniel is showing people why B-Flow should have lost his job in Miami. Hey, two is not there. Run the ball. Quick passes to Tyreek Hill. Maybe Tim Boyle and Skylar Thompson should be your backup.
Right.
You know, if I ran the team, I would sit down with my starting quarterback and say, hey, look, I need you to fucking touch your ego. Our backup is going to be good. Your job's not in jeopardy if you play, as long as you play. You're not going to have a quarterback controversy.
Right.
But we're going to have a good backup. Like, our backup may not be here next year because he's going to get a chance to go compete for a job elsewhere. Sam Darnold as a backup. He needs a lot around him. Like,
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, a Baker Mayfield before this thing worked here. Geno Smith before it worked for him. Andy Dalton that today.
Yeah.
I have somebody who either has high draft pick, good pedigree, or an older guy
who's played a lot of football.
Yes. Like
Yeah,
Joe
like
Flacco, Andy Dalton.
Joe Flacco's the Colts backup. Right? So like there
would probably be a better team if he started.
Well, there's probably some people in Cleveland that thinks that he should be starting there still.
Well, the problem is there's only Jimmy Haslam's the only person in Cleveland more important than Deshaun Watson, which is why Deshaun Watson publicly, where it got out that Deshaun Watson's not running the football. I don't want to run it. Yeah, you can't do nothing about it.
Right. The contract's already guaranteed, boys.
Yeah.
You know, unless he can get indicated that he was too at these Diddy parties and he too was a part of the process of getting the women and soliciting them for sex. I mean, that's another way to get him out of there. But to make that guaranteed, unguaranteed. But outside of that, it's guaranteed.
Pretty much. God, we got another night game. I like night games.
You say you don't like night games?
No, I got in bed at 2 a.m.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how was the traffic for you? Was really my question. Yeah, I bet it was. I bet it took you just leaving from Mangum. I feel like it had to have. I'm sure that you didn't. Did you leave immediately?
Ish.
Like, I feel like you might have even kicked it for 30 minutes. You know what I mean?
Well, I kicked it for about 10, 15, and then I was like, I drink. So.
And tomorrow was Monday, too.
Yeah, I'm just going to just sit in traffic. And it took me about 30 minutes to get on 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. That sounds about right.
And the worst part was, you already know North Side's a nightmare.
Yeah.
But, going by the Capitol and all that shit, when you turn right and get on 7 o'clock?
Yeah.
Awful.
Do you think it was straight Falcon traffic? Like, or do you think, was there road work? I mean, was there something going on?
No, it was just traffic, man. Because the thing is,
everybody was headed in the same direction.
Yeah, but I stopped in Locust Grove to get gas, and then I was out. But then I had enough gas, but I was like, fuck it. And I ran into people on their way to the game. So if they're stopping at the gas station in Locust Grove, good chance they didn't leave them. So no, it's people coming to town for the game. But any games you're looking forward to this week? I'll tell you, for me, it's difficult for me to look forward to games when we play at home because I'm not going to watch Like, I'm not watching anything else in the 1 o'clock window. Depending on how post game goes, I may catch some of the 4 o'clock game. I may not, and then I'll be ready for them for.
Yeah.
Oh, let's do college football.
Okay.
All right, y'all. But college football real quick. Because we're going to get to the picks in about 10 minutes, and hopefully our guest isn't too late.
Yeah.
You want to start with Roach Wine and Travis Hunter now being put back into the Heisman conversation?
Did they get pushed back in, or was it a moment? Because they both had moments in this game. I mean, obviously, you got the Hail Mary that I know they kept, they recall back to like when Cordell Stewart did it for Shador. And then, of course, for Travis, not only did he have 100 yards, receiving touchdown, 7-8 catches, but he had the key punch out at the goal line to win the team the game himself, too. They actually had that on Bad Beats, too, because Baylor was plus 2.5. So imagine if you had the hook on Baylor. Boy. I think a win like this, though, here's the thing. Baylor's not very good.
No.
If this was Baylor 3 or 4 years ago, this would have meant way more.
This was Baylor or Ross.
I was about to say, this is like, well, here's the thing. Dave Aranda had a year where Baylor was good. I mean, Baylor played Georgia in the Sugar Bowl one year. I mean, they're not terrible, but like Baylor today is not Baylor 4 years ago. So we're talking, this is a 6-6, 7-5 team. So it's impressive because, they beat a okay school at home. That's interesting. Like, and they did it in dramatic fashion. Like, so I don't know what to think of it, but this was, you sent the link earlier this week and how they didn't get any votes. Now, I thought that was interesting. And the first thing I could recall back to was, I think that they were ranked after they beat TCU last year, and they won their next game, and then they played Colorado State, and they kind of got them overrated and stuff. So, it was just, I don't know.
Here's the thing. I don't think they should have got votes. And here, I don't care about the bottom of the top 25. I don't care about the top 15. The playoff contenders.
Yeah.
But I was listening to Matt Leinart and Ryan Russillo talk about Shador and Travis Hunter. And that was like, usually in football, you don't see two players carry a team like that. Like, they're doing some basketball type shit in football. Because Leinart was like, I couldn't play behind that line. He's like, look at Shador in the pocket. He moves well in the pocket, and he still look down the gun barrel and make a throw and hit his chops. And Travis Hunter being reinserted back into the Heisman conversation, that's supposed to award the best player in college football, not the best quarterback on the best team.
Yeah.
His play has been consistent since he stepped on Colorado's campus. I mean, he's gotten better, but all year he's been killing that receiver and playing really well at corner. His success and the team's success, two separate things. He's fine no matter what.
Right.
So it just lets me know how crazy this let me just know how crazy the Heisman conversation is. And I actually want to take a little bit of time and talk about the Heisman conversation. I kind of want to talk about awards. I want to talk about, just the media and what they do and how so much of that we consume and the way we consume it is shaped by other people. If Travis Hunter is the best player in the country, what does his team's success have to do with it? It's not an MVP award. It's just the best player. He's playing the best football. And with college football, it's so hard to say who the best player is, who the best players are. Because some guys have production because of the situation they're in, or they're playing in a lesser conference, or they got a light schedule. And you just don't know. And there's so many games, it's hard to watch it. It's so hard to be a college football guru. That's why on this show, we don't talk a lot of college football. We don't get into the trenches, the deep into college football because it's entirely too much football to try to watch. How do you isolate it? You can't. So I would caution you all, listen to what people have to say about sports, but watch it for yourself. Listen to people that probably aren't on your mainstream platforms and listen. You should learn game through philosophy. You should learn how, people who analyze the big picture decisions and culture. But the day to day, the week to week, you need to watch that for yourself and grab an opinion, and then maybe listen to other people who know more about the game than you do, and use that to help you grow. Now we got the big week coming up in Tuscaloosa. We got our
Huge week. I said huge week.
We got our Georgia Bulldogs going out to Tuscaloosa to play against Alabama Crimson Tide. And I haven't listened to Paul Feinbaum all week, but boy, I know that show's been going crazy. Paul may got a raise. Paul's definitely getting a raise next week.
Well, look, and Paul's got to sell it a little bit more too, because now that there's no Saban, this is like a de facto passing of the torch game. I mean, I know Kirby's already won twice, but I'm saying it's kind of like a passing of the torch of, if you go out there and you beat the shit out of Alabama at Alabama, it's like there's like a no shit, no doubt Kirby's not only the best coach in college football, but like he will be until he leaves. It's like one of those, there's not a coach in college football that can take away Kirby being the best in the sport. If he can go out and whip their ass though.
But there is one on TV who I know is itching to come back.
Yeah, but is he itching to come back to where he's been before?
I'm not talking about Nick.
I know who you're talking about. Is he itching to come back to where he's been before?
It would be in his best interest and their best interest to make that work.
What does the contract look like for that? 20 a year? I know that sounds ridiculous, but isn't that kind of what that would probably be close to?
If you were an AD at a school with high expectations, real high expectations, not like Texas A&M fake high expectations, but high expectations and high standards, would you pay her $20 million at AD?
If we hadn't been winning, and in their case, it makes more sense just because of the hype that will come with that too, him coming back. Yeah, I mean, look, we just saw Jimbo get, 76 to go away. So what's giving a guy like him 20 a year over 5 years? Because Jimbo basically had a $100 million contract. I mean, it wasn't 20 a year, but I mean, look, Jimbo got paid more than 20 a year if you do it by the numbers.
And Jimbo got an extension right before he got fired.
Right, but this is what I'm saying. But think about it. Jimbo, if you do it by the numbers, the money that he's getting to not be there, plus the amount of years and what he got paid for those years, if you add it up, that's still 20 a year. Like, he got over 20 a year. So it's the same thing because you're still paying the money out. So it's like, if you're Florida, you haven't been relevant since he left. I mean, okay. McElroy took him to the SEC, but they were never. But even with McElroy, they were never, or not McElroy, McElwain. They were never gonna win the SEC. They always, it seemed like they kept winning the East, but they weren't gonna win the SEC. They were never gonna be better than Alabama. They were never gonna be better than LSU.
Dan Mullen wasn't bad.
Yeah, but he didn't win the. Did he win the East ever?
Dan Mullen, yeah, COVID year.
Okay, yeah, the shit
The
was
draft
Pitts.
picks year.
Yeah, with Pitts and stuff. I mean, and Kadarius Toney.
Let me see. I want to see Dan Mullen's record because I feel like he was good in Florida.
I feel like that was the only good year that he had. I mean, in terms of good year, like I'm talking like they won 10 games.
No, he went. Mullen went 10-3, 11-2, 8-4. That's actually the year he won the East. Then he went 5-6 and got fired.
Okay.
Like the one year he gets to the SEC championship, bad year. Then he just had a bad 2021 and he fired. That's crazy.
Well, here's the thing. You look at the Georgia games too, because that means something. Did Georgia embarrass them? Like that means something.
It means something if you're going to replace him with somebody that's not Bill Nicky. A guy who, hey, Saban passed on him as an OC more than once. He was in the building.
Right.
You know, he likes guys like Kip, Sark, who are actually top 10 coaches in college football. But yeah, Georgia has to win this game. It's definitely a statement game. Kirby needs to put DeBoer and the Alabama fans in their rightful place. Hey, Nick is upstairs watching the game. And guess who will actually be in attendance at the game on Saturday?
Nick.
Bill Belichick.
Really?
Yeah, I think his daughter goes there or something like that.
Actually, you want to know who I thought you were going to say?
Oh.
Donald Trump, because you know he's going to be at the game too.
Well, he's going to be well accepted there.
Absolutely. You know, Donald Trump went to the national championship when it was here, when he was president. He was at that game, and I was like, wow. I was like, this really is the hottest ticket in town. Like, because
Donald Trump knows that he's loved in SEC country.
Trump. Well, it's MAGA country.
Yeah, Trump. Okay, you get to the picks. Hey, before we get to the picks, see if our guest is going to be on time.
Okay, give me 1 second.
All right, so as he's doing that piece, Monday Night Football 14-9, I want to take a quick second to talk about the Giants running back. Can't even think of Devin Singletary. He might have the weakest swag in the NFL. This man has on the high socks, just the team color, you know, no white socks on the outside. No gloves, nothing on his arms, no sleeves, no nothing. Just arms and hands. Shit looks terrible. Like, come on, dog. Put on a pair of gloves. Swag out there. Darius Slayton with the first down. There's only been 4 incompletions in this game so far. But they're not lighting up the scoreboard. Let's see. Daniel Jones still missed the guy. Daniel Jones is just not a good quarterback.
He's garbage. He's garbage.
He needs to be buried in the 1 o'clock window. And not Fox. Put him on CBS. Give him that brain camera shit. You know what we did? We didn't talk about this here, but the Bengals are 0-3. I think COOKED. I think they're fucking. Let me see. Angel Reese says for the past 2 years, the media has benefited from her pain and her being villainized to create a narrative. And for the past 2 years, Angel Reese has benefited because she's been in the media and she's getting brand deals and she's a household name as a women's basketball player, which is something that hasn't been granted to many women's basketball players. You know what? Rant time while he's figuring that out. I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of all of this WNBA crime. You say you want more recognition for the league. You say you want more people to watch the W, appreciate the W. Guess what happens? You get more fans for you. You get more fans against you. You get more people betting on you. You get more people betting against you. And guess what happens? Those people have things to say. Sometimes it's dirty, nasty hate mail that I think is totally uncalled for. Sometimes it's congratulations. Sometimes it's sold out arena. Sometimes it's a sold out arena booing your ass. Sometimes it's more positive media coverage. Sometimes it's negative media coverage. It's part of the territory. Here's what needs to happen. The NBA needs to do a summit. Let's bring in the entire W and have top players, mid-tier players, and journeymen talk to them about what it's like to have all eyes on me. You know, to tell them. Fans gonna send you some racist ass emails, racist ass comments, racist ass DMs, or say racist ass shit to your face. Kourt, because it's women's basketball and it's a heavy LGBTQ plus community there. Some people are probably gonna say some hateful, bigoted stuff to you and about you if you don't do what they want you to do. I'm not saying this behavior by these single fans is okay or acceptable. But what I will tell you is you can't have the high without the low, the good without the bad, the yin without the yang. Yin yang in the thing. Yin yang in the thing. You can't have it. Angel Reese, you can't be all over the blogs, being famous Angel Reese, popping Angel Reese, a podcast that people listen to, a Reebok deal, making you some money, getting you some fly kicks, your Reese's Pieces deal. You can't get all that good stuff, all that love, without somebody giving you hate. You can't have a good day without a bad day. You don't know what it's like to feel. You don't know what it's like to feel great if you've never felt bad. That sucks. That athletes have people who don't know them saying terrible things about them, and that affecting their mental health, being criticized on a day-to-day basis just for doing their job. Well, with great power comes great responsibility. You have more access to means that other people don't have. So make sure you're doing that. Making sure you got you a good therapist. You got a good group of people around you. Maybe you got somebody running your social media. All of that good stuff. But guess what? Oh my God, we have a guest. So, Reynolds. Hey.
Lee, what's up?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? I don't know if I'm like.
No, you're good. You're amazing. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. What's up, Hi?
Hey, look who we got, guys. We got Courtney George in the building.
Hey, Creole Kourt.
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me first. Like, this is cool.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. This is actually, it's funny. This is something that's kind of been in the works for a minute.
Yeah.
And this just was like the perfect excuse to get you on with us. So,
okay.
Thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me. Is this live?
Yeah, we're live.
This is live. Okay.
Yeah, turn on your media training.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You want to know what solidified this for me, though?
Okay.
That night last January when we went out?
Yes, in Atlanta.
Yeah, it was 3 of us, and we had fun, and we pretty much stayed to ourselves the entire night. It was just us 3 talking and go.
That was fun. And then we went to somebody's party. I don't even know whose party that was.
We did go to somebody's random party that night, but I was thinking more about the grown and sexy at the W.
That was nice. That was nice.
It was the 38 to 54 crowd.
Yeah, I would even push it to 40, the 40 to 58, 55 crowd.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that crowd. By the way,
it was definitely grown and sexy. The oldest crowd I've ever been a part of.
It was a crowd that I can see myself in on a consistent basis because I usually just want to hang out with the people that I'm with, anyways.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the music was loud enough to hear, but low enough to talk.
Something chill. Yeah. And then they had the little dance floor in the back. It was nice. A little vibe.
Yeah. And of course, nothing is topped off unless you can get $17 drinks. I think that's the absolute minimum for a drink when you go out somewhere, because you know that it's not going to be watered down.
But see, that's class. That's what
I'm saying. It's not going to be watered down liquor, or your tequila's not going to taste a little bit like vodka or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. You're getting top shelf. You don't even have to ask for it.
Yeah, it was. And I'm expecting to pay about $22 a drink.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really look at drink menus because I kind of know what I want.
What's your drink of choice, Lee?
It depends. So a night like that, I think I was drinking old fashions. Sometimes I'm a reposado and Sprite, or I'm just shooting tequila and drinking domestic beer.
It's funny because I actually stopped drinking. I haven't had a drink in I think a couple months, but my drink of choice is still a Moscow Mule.
That's what you drink that night.
That's what I drink when I do drink.
Yeah, easy to go down.
Yeah.
Not too bitter. You could taste enough of the liquor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Got a soda you taste.
The ginger beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we show them that party that we went to?
What party?
That night, that party where it felt like everybody was in their 30s trying to act like we were still an undergrad.
Oh.
That is exactly what it gave.
There was a house party.
Yeah.
Well, but that's what kind of made it legit, because it was a decent little townhouse. It wasn't nothing or was it a townhouse? Was it an apartment?
A townhouse.
No, it was a townhouse. Yeah, it was a townhouse.
I don't want a DJ at a house party. I want somebody with a good playlist.
I'm with you. Yeah, because if you've got a DJ at a party, at a house party, if it's not celebrating somebody's anniversary,
yeah,
they're it could be a birthday party, I guess. If it's just
it was
party,
a Christmas holiday party, I think.
Yeah, but in those situations, you probably don't need a DJ.
No,
I tell you what. No. Here's the thing: you can have a DJ if your spot's big enough to have a DJ.
If it's big enough.
That spot wasn't big enough to have a DJ.
Enough.
That was the issue.
It gave okay, the lights are about to go off, and everybody's gonna find a spot on the wall and get twerk all night. I'm like,
it definitely gave undergrad. It definitely gave we're trying to be younger than we are, but it was still a vibe. I mean, it was good. I was pretty there. I think we all were pretty there, and it was still fun.
Well, everybody was all in your face that night because you're the famous person around here. So it was super funny. It was super funny to watch your group.
Your entrance
that you had.
What was the entrance?
Well, Courtney, you gotta remember, we kind of walked in, and when you walk in and everybody's like, ah, you're thinking you're gonna see a motherfucker that and then you don't see a motherfucker that and then you're just kind of they're like, well, hey, Lee, they're like, so who's the sped? I'm like, fuck, I'm just some guy. I went to school there too,
I
didn't get any love until shout outs to Rachel Delsar. I didn't get any love until I saw Rachel. That's where I got my love from. And I'm like,
there's a few people in there.
Yeah, but that was clearly not our class. But yeah, you walked in all Hollywood, and so
am I ever really Hollywood though?
You are, and that's why we even have you here right now. So before we even break down Saints Falcons, because I know that you're just
Okay.
dying to tell us who that really is.
You know. You know.
No, I don't know. I don't
You
know.
know.
Refresh my memory. But we did want to talk to you about that since you are so Hollywood. Tell us a little bit about some of the stuff that you've done recently and what you're currently working on.
This is so crazy that you're like asking me this because I've known you for so long. But
Yeah.
so, what am I currently working on? I have a film coming out this holiday season. It's a horror thriller film about a virus in jail. So I'm in jail and there's a virus going through the jail. It's a horror thriller that's coming out. I had a movie just come out a couple weeks ago that was on Hallmark Channel. It's called A Costa Rican Wedding. And I also have a movie that just was released on Tubi and it's called Knock. So doing big things. Things are finally paying off for me out here. It's year 5. So that's
Well,
pretty
and we love to hear it and we love to see it. And like I told you, we're definitely going to check that out. And everybody else that's tuning in or that streams this, definitely go and check that out. Costa Rican Wedding on the Hallmark Channel, and then
yeah.
Knock on Tubi. And I know everybody's got Tubi, so I don't want to hear
Yeah.
anything about it's difficult to download the app and all this other crazy stuff.
It's free.
Now, when you're doing these, and I'm gonna let because I know Lee's got a couple of questions too, but just one more question, kind of related even to that. When you're doing these roles, do you kind of go out and audition for specific types of roles, or do you kind of just audition and hope that something like you get chosen just kind of for anything, like, or is there just a specific role that you're looking to play, like damsel in distress, like if it's a horror movie?
So, okay.
The girl that like is cheating with the husband. Like do you look for certain roles?
It's not you look for certain roles, it's they look for certain people to play those roles. So you have to have the look for that role or you're not going to get that role. So, I mean, I go out for a lot of young roles, a lot of college age roles. I go out for the girlfriend, the wife roles, but it all depends. I mean, you don't just like say like, oh, this is what I want to play, this is what I'm going to get. It's kind of like you audition for what you audition for, and then they choose you if they like you.
Now, but does your agent give you do you get an invite, or like your agent finds it and says, hey, you should go do this?
So my agent like kind of searches for auditions that match my specs. So like my look, my height, my weight, what the breakdown is looking for. So if it says like African American woman, 20 to 30, 5'6", athletic, then she'll be like, okay, this fits, and then she'll send me out for that.
Yeah.
You athletic?
I'm athletic. I ran track in high school. I cheered at Morehouse.
Yeah, well, that is true. Yeah, it's 100% true.
Yeah.
All right. So first question for you, Courtney, is
Okay.
when did you decide that you wanted to get into acting? And talk us a little bit through the journey of how you transitioned from high school to college student.
Okay. I first decided that I wanted to be an actor when I was, I think, 12 years old. And so I was in the 6th grade and we could choose electives, and I chose drama. And I was like, I want to do this. And then I remember vividly telling my mom I was an actor, and she's like, okay, like, sure. And I just remember watching like Disney Channel, That's So Raven, and thinking like, I can do that. Like I could totally do that. I could be on TV. And back then I had like braces, glasses, and I was like, whatever, I can do it. I took every elective that I've ever taken in high school, middle school, was a theater or drama class. So like everyone's like, oh, I'm taking painting this year. I'm gonna do computer science this year. I'm gonna do sculpting. It was like I was focused and like, no, I only do acting, I only do drama. That's the only like elective I'm ever taking. And then fast forward to Spelman, I told my dad that I'm going to major in drama. And he told me, you are not going to major in drama because I'm not paying for you to major in drama. And I said, okay, well, I guess I'm majoring in political science and I'm going to minor in drama because focused. I'm not like, no one can take this dream from me. I'm going to do it regardless. It was so many more classes that I had to take, but like graduated with a minor in drama. Moved to New York for a couple years after graduation in hopes of like doing acting, and then eventually moved out to LA, got an agent, and then my first summer here, I booked a movie. So it happened 2019, and then I booked another movie, and it was like on a roll, and then COVID hit, and I was like, okay, I have to take a little hiatus, and then
You bartend?
No, I have my social media following, so I was doing like social media promotions, doing that in the meantime. And then I did a couple movies after, and then I did a movie this year. And well, last year was the strike. I don't know if you guys know about like the writer's strike, SAG strike. So that was pretty big. And it put a lot of people out of work. I mean, people lost their houses. It was pretty bad for like actors, producers, directors, like the whole industry. It's affected. Even still, like it's really slow.
It was the Writers Guild, correct?
Yeah. So it started off with the writer's strike, and then simultaneously it was the SAG strike, which is the actors' strike. And so basically, people were out of work for months on end, and then now people are starting to slowly come back, but it's like a backlog. So the things that were supposed to happen are finally happening, and then we can get to the new things.
Yeah, like Tulsa King season 2 finally came out.
What do you say?
Tulsa King season 2 finally came out.
Exactly. See, like it's like affecting everybody, and people have to get like day jobs and like figure out things to like.
Yeah, stuff like that. And it's actually pretty funny that you say that, because I don't remember if I had told you this.
Yeah.
But at my loft, they actually shot a movie.
Shut up.
At my loft. Yeah. They shot a movie. Michael J. White is who shot the movie. And he's the dude that I guess he does a lot of karate stuff. I didn't realize that he was super duper karate like that. I know him from Tyler Perry. Yeah. Yeah, and like I didn't know who was shooting the movie there or whatever, but it was like one of the first productions since coming back. I got the guy's number and everything because I was like, hey, if you guys ever need staffing opportunity, I'm like, you guys look like you're moving a lot of shit around, and unless you guys are hiring people to do this, like you have your own team of people that do it, it seems like you guys will probably reach out to like a service.
Yeah.
But then that's when I met him, and I found out everything about it and how they were telling me how, everybody's been on strike. So like, this is like a big deal. They paid me, of course, like to use it and everything. So I thought that it was a super interesting way that they did it, especially because of how Atlanta is, which actually brings me to my next point. Mm-hmm. Considering that you're from here.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider coming back here to do that too? Since now, Atlanta is Black Hollywood, and it's, shooting just as many movies almost.
I would say I would come back to Atlanta if I book a project in Atlanta. And I only say that because when I was in Atlanta trying to be an actor, they would source like the primary cast, like the big lead actors from LA. So I don't know. Things have changed. Obviously, it's been like years, but I just love it out here. I really do.
She ain't coming back.
I love that.
As long as the checks be cash, but she ain't coming back.
Yeah.
People don't leave California. If you go to California go to Southern California. You don't leave Southern California if your life is still life. As long as life is good, you don't leave.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to living in Atlanta because it's home. And like nothing compares. Like, there are just not a lot of Black people out here. And it's just like, so.
You know what? Hey, real quick, Kourt, because, I lived in San Diego for a few years. Yeah. Not only is there a shortage of Black people, but more importantly, there is a shortage of Black culture.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
you meet Black people who don't use the N-word when people aren't listening.
Yeah. You're just like, is this a safe space? Are we in Get Out? Like,
The thing is, like, when you say, is this a safe space? In the South, there's no such thing as a safe space. Like, you are who you are. You know what I
right.
mean? Like,
Right.
and you have these different thoughts and stuff because I just recently moved back. I moved back to Georgia a couple years ago, but I'm
Yeah.
back in Cartersville working at Atlanta now.
I heard
And
you're back.
man,
I told
some
you.
of say again? Oh, but
I told yeah.
a lot of the stuff that like I'm so used to like thinking about in my California mind of not being offensive, this and
Oh,
that.
it's so that.
It doesn't exist here. It's not even a thought. Like I was having a conversation with some people about Diddy earlier this week, and I've been in multiple conversations, and people were like, "I don't think you did nothing too wrong."
What'd you say?
They said, "I don't think you did anything too wrong," and I'm like, "Well, I disagree." But the fact that you're comfortable saying that out loud,
Yeah, I mean it's not. And it's a thing. So and I know people look at me and they're like, oh, she's so, I don't know what people think when they look at me, but I'm like, I'm from Atlanta.
So, question for you. You talked about your social media following,
Okay.
and you had your social media run,
Yes.
big popularity. You went super viral.
Yes.
And the interesting thing about it is, yes, you did the part two, but you didn't really double down. You're not living in the world of hurt being.
Right.
What made you want to pivot out of that after having the viral success from the two videos?
To be honest, I didn't realize it would go viral when we did it. So it was like we did it for $500 and really for me to get closure and kind of talk about what happened. And then it just blew up. And so that was never like the intent to like do this you never know like the things that are just gonna blow up when you do it. Like we could do this podcast and then all of a sudden it's on ESPN tomorrow. You don't know. So
Something pops up, right? And
yeah.
and right. You can't manufacture a viral moment.
Exactly. It happens or it doesn't. And then it just happened and I was like, okay, well, how do you turn lemons into lemonade? This is a blessing in disguise. Like, what have I always wanted to do? I've always wanted to be an actor. Let's try to pivot it into that.
How was your phone after that happened?
I mean, you would have thought it was my birthday. It was like.
Well, it's funny. It's funny because we actually spoke like that day. It was if you remember, we had a group conversation.
It was like Courtney went viral. Like, what's the next move?
Yeah, it was me, you, Kyle. I want to say I know Jew was on the phone as well, but I think Josh was there, and I want to say Morgan too. And
Morgan
so
too. It was like all of us. Just like,
because like like the shit like popped up, and I think Kyle was the first person that contacted me. Like she's like, "Have you seen this?" And I was like,
"Yeah."
What
Kyle
is it?
That's the thing. So Kyle was blowing me up that morning, and I was living in New York at the time, so I'm getting on the subway, and there's no service down there. And she's like blowing me up. I'm like, damn, like I'm gonna call you when I get to work. I promise. Like, I was like, call you when I get to work. Call you. And she just kept calling. And so I'm walking into my building, and she's like, have you been on Facebook? I'm like, no, not really. I haven't really been on Facebook. She's like, just check Facebook. And I was like, well, did you send me something? She's like, just get on Facebook. I mean, literally just logging onto Facebook is like the first thing. I was like, whoa. And yeah.
I'll tell you, it was funny for me because what year was that? What year was that?
2017.
Okay, 2017. So I'm in San Diego and I'm around like just people at work.
Yeah.
And it pops up in a conversation, and my introduction to it is not like through the group text or anything from people from like
Yeah.
usual friends, just from randoms.
Yeah.
They're showing it to me. And I go, I went to college with her. No, I don't really know her. Like she is close friends with my close friends.
Oh
What
my
the
God.
fuck?
It's always cool to hear like other perspectives because, like, you know, you guys know me. So, like, how was that for y'all? And you know him too. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I knew kind of about the situation in general.
yeah,
Because
the behind the scenes.
if I'm not mistaken, if you remember, there was a point in time where I don't know why he thought that we were like that, like you were fucking with me or something. And like, you know, I knew Leonard just because Leonard was a business major too. So like, I mean,
Yeah.
I had class with the motherfucker.
Yeah,
But like, it was just,
that's crazy.
I think it's just kind of funny because you're just like you said, you never know when this stuff's gonna come up. But the
Yeah.
fact that something that you were so, I'm not gonna say intimately close with, but like something that you just knew about anywaes.
Knew about like everyone knew.
And I think the funniest thing was more so seeing the commentary on it, you know, because you get online and everybody has an opinion, right?
Right.
And it's
Everybody's,
not just
yeah,
and it's not just like, oh, he's a heartless bastard, like, you know,
right,
and all this other stuff. But then there's the other people that are like, he's like, I see nothing wrong with what that nigga did. He's like, I would have did it to her too, like, you know,
which is crazy. Like, what kind of villain? I mean,
well, but that's where, but you know, and during 2017, during this time, there's a lot of like, this is kind of like the birth of like that city boy type era. Like he's actually he is used kind of as a meme too. And that like there are things on Twitter where if somebody said something, they could post a picture of him in that.
And it would be, it was like
they'll use it and it's like a city boy type thing. So
it was a city boy era, and then it was like the Bay era, like the salt.
Yeah, exactly.
Bay,
jail thing. Like, yeah.
Funny thing about this was, within the last 2 months, I was in one of those weird YouTube rabbit holes. I was watching like some old Divas and Mero clips.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you how I got there, but I ended up there. And then their response to it pops up, and I'm like, I see this. I'm bored. So
are you serious?
Yeah, then I listen to like Joe Budden and break it down. And you're hearing these large platforms talk about this, and they're talking about the clout, the intent, and all of these different things. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I know this person.
And they have no idea.
They don't know. I've been around her since this. She's not the person y'all are describing at all. Because
that's what I'm saying.
I was telling probably Pete before the show today. I'm like, I don't want to talk about it a little bit. I don't want to like focus on that because when we've been around each other, it's never been appropriate to be like, hey, what was that like? Like, I'm never going to treat you like some groupie shit. You know what I mean? I know.
Yeah. Was funny because we never really talk about it, to be honest with you. But obviously, well, because it's when you just think about talking about it, it's just kind of like it happened. And it was interesting. And of course, like you said, you kind of use it as a springboard to get in Hollywood and be an actress. But it just, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting that a lot of people have these opinions and they dissect something that was kind of simple in reality.
Honestly, and it's crazy that they dissect it because I think the video is like 7 minutes long. And we were talking for like an hour and a half. So they like kind of concocted this story to make it look a certain way, and like, you know, no one's perfect, neither am I, and they just kind of drafted it to make it look one way, and I was like, oh, okay, well,
very emotional.
How many niggas say I would never do you like that?
What you say?
How many niggas hit your DMs was like, I would never do you like that?
Honestly, Lee, I couldn't even tell you, like, to this day, like, I'm gonna bring one up. I mean, literally the other day, someone said, let's see, I'm gonna open it right now. Someone said,
and while you're stalling to find that out, I'm not trying to put this person on blast, but he's notorious for this. Shaq hit you up, didn't he?
Yes, a few times.
Yeah.
Few times. This guy goes
Actually,
yesterday.
Courtney, hold on. Once, go ahead. Actually, say that because then I have a story about Shaq that relates to both of us. Go ahead.
Really?
Yeah, remember?
I can bring up this. No, I'm not gonna.
You remember the Super Bowl?
This guy goes, "Yo, I straight forgot. Everybody used to call you Hurt Bay. I had to Google your name. I'm like, she looked familiar, but I don't know where I know her from. Wondering why all that Hurt Bay stuff kept popping up. That's crazy. That was you. Yesterday.
That's wild.
That's
Yesterday.
supposed to work.
I'm like, if you're trying to shoot your shot, like that's probably the wrong approach.
Yeah,
apparently you like direct shots.
It's
Yeah.
a lot of limp dicks walking around out here. But so the Shaq thing.
Yeah.
If you remember, Shaq had hit you up because you got invited to be at the Shaq's Funhouse.
Shaq's Funhouse, yeah.
Exactly, but we met each other
Yeah,
there.
and you were there,
because MGM was a part host for Hawkinson's. That was MGM, but I was plugged in with my rep.
Yeah.
Me and Jay Briggs. You met Jay Briggs.
Yeah.
Lee knows Jay Briggs. And we were there. But I just think it's funny because Shaq's the one that sent you your invitation.
Yeah.
And Shaq was like legit, like anyone could talk to Shaq at this party. Like he was DJing downstairs.
Yeah.
Like you could walk up to Shaq. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was one of those type of parties. Which, speaking of parties, obviously a lot of stuff's going on with Diddy. You've never been invited to a Diddy party, have you?
I've never been invited to a Diddy party. I've never gone to a Diddy party. No.
How about any type of Hollywood party? What would you say? And you don't have to disclose everything that went on if you don't want to. Maybe I'm not saying you had to sign an NDA, but have you been to one of those type of parties where that has had to happen?
Where I've had to sign an NDA?
Yep.
Just to go to a party?
Yep. Or once you got there, maybe they confiscated your phone, like, or anything.
I've definitely been to parties where it was like frowned upon to like have your phone out.
I would love to go to a party like that. I hate people on their phones at parties.
Yeah, it's like, you should probably put that away. Or like, I don't pull my phone out to like video parties because I don't want to be videoed at a party, regardless of if it's a Hollywood party or any kind of party. I just don't want to be on your story or wherever.
Yeah.
But
Me neither.
yeah, no, I never had to sign an NDA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something real quick about the party and phones thing. We were having a conversation at Gamble's wedding.
Okay.
It was the wife and girlfriends, and then the guys.
Yeah.
They were talking about Zoe's bachelorette party. They're taking pictures, they're posting the whole time. They're like,
yeah,
going to 2 bachelor parties.
Okay.
And nobody posted anything. Like, no stories, no photos, no nothing. And we're like, yeah, we only see each other like this maybe once a year. We don't want to be on our phones.
Nobody, and it's like you can't really live in the moment when you're on your phone.
That and then we're just really bad about taking pictures anyways. I mean, we just really don't take pictures. I mean,
yeah. I mean, when
know.
it's your job to take pictures and post online and make content, it's like sometimes on the weekend, you're just like, I just want to be in the moment. I just want to live, like, not be.
I just want to get drunk with my friends, and that's all I want to do. And the last thing I want to do is get somebody in trouble because we post a random story because we're at a bar.
Yeah.
And there's married guys, there's guys with girlfriends, and there's single guys. But guess what? There's going to be women around us. And then it's like, who are them bitches?
Yeah, the worst thing is to be at a party and to see this, like, in your face. Like,
well, and it can, it can always be misconstrued, like what it is that you're doing.
Exactly.
In that moment, nobody really knows what's going on necessarily in the moment. So, somebody might have just got sick or something. Yeah.
Hey, you remember that one post that totally misconstrued that one day at your house?
Yeah.
I was helping somebody get something, and Shorty post some shit like, "Who is this guy?" I was like, I don't even know this guy.
Yeah.
She was like a freak, and I'm like, yo.
Yeah, she played the Curb Your Enthusiasm music.
Wait, what happened?
So
She
people over Carly Pete's crib. Something was up high. I like lifted Shorty up or help her get down or something like that, right?
Yeah.
You helped her get down. She was up. You've been over there, Courtney. So like, there's an area where that closet is where it's high up. I don't even know what she was doing up there. I think she wanted to check because there was like a storage kind of like there. She went up there to look at it, and like she didn't want to jump down, so she needed help getting down. So Lee's like, "I'll catch you. You jump, just jump. Like we got you. Like you're not gonna fall." And I guess somebody was recording a video, maybe, or a picture of her up there because she's a short girl, and like he catches her, and I guess her face. Within the video, she takes a picture. She screenshots a moment in the video, and it's like her face, like being like, "Who is this man?" type face. But she puts it online, and it's like, I don't know who this dude is, and like it.
He's helping you get down.
Now Lee's face isn't like in it. Like it's not like he's looking at the camera directly too, but like
I like to watch it.
But it was definitely him, you know.
No, right. She saw that. She could see that. She could see it and like take it a certain way. And now I've got a long conversation after that. You know what I mean?
You and your wife?
No. I think like she didn't see it, and I didn't do anything out of pocket. But she could have seen that, and I could have just been chilling. And now I got a screenshot in my inbox. What the fuck is this? Who's this bitch? And I'm like,
what?
She was up there, and she needed help down. And I'm tall enough, and I work out, so I was.
Everything can just be misconstrued, like when you take pictures and videos and it's out of context and you just don't know. I mean, I'm not saying like have people sign NDAs, but you know, discretion.
Yeah, and fortunately for us, man, we have a group of people who understand that and are solid. And you don't need to be on camera. I need to go back and relive some of this stuff. Sometimes I want to retell the story 3 years later and make shit up.
Sure. What?
Are you coming back for homecoming this year? Or are you going to be busy working?
I'm coming back next year for our 10-year.
Yeah, y'all's 10-year. I'll be back for y'all's 10-year festivities because
come back.
I am a honorary 2015 graduate, although I'm 2015. My closest friends were 2015.
You're honorary. We accept you.
Yeah, look.
How are you going?
To this year, or you're talking about next year?
Well, I mean, you live in Georgia, so I mean.
Well, look, last year was the first year I didn't go. Period.
You just didn't go.
I went to Nashville. Yeah, I was in Nashville that weekend. But for what we're about to talk about, which is why I was there. But yeah, I'm gonna go. We have a tent again this year, so I'll be there. And then of course for my 10-year, I've got to be there. Which actually, fun fact, it'll be our 10-year. It'll be my dad's 45th year. And although my brother passed away, it would have been his 20th.
Wow.
Yeah. So we because they walked at my graduation. They walked at it. So yeah. So absolutely. Cool. Yeah. So absolutely, I'll be there.
Yeah. Next year.
I want to see your graduation too.
We have to like put together something.
Yeah, and you know,
is everybody invited?
I mean, I don't have any beef with anybody, so.
Okay.
Yeah, and look, we could talk more about that off camera, but
yeah.
I wasn't gonna dive deep.
What do you say?
I wasn't gonna deep dive there. I was asking a general question.
I think everybody should be good enough to go. I mean,
I don't see why not.
I don't see why not.
You know, look,
we're
all about having a good time, and it doesn't have to be a Diddy party or anything. But
right.
I want to have a good time too, you know. And so I'm all about having a good time. I think we are. So
I bring the baby oil.
What you say?
I bring the baby oil.
No baby oil, no lube.
Baby oil. We don't need to. No, none of that.
Yeah. If you're not wet enough, then you know that's your problem. But nonetheless, look, it's a very.
We got 10 for a reason.
Yeah.
It's 8 week. You, for some odd reason, are a funky ass Saints fan.
I'm sorry, who that?
All right.
Sorry, what? I couldn't hear you.
You know, this stuff gets
Couldn't
so.
quite hear you. Because
This stuff
I
gets.
thought you said 2 and 1 and 1 and 2. Is that what? Okay, that's what I thought.
No,
That's what I thought.
no.
That's what
I think.
you said.
Look,
It's
I
a long
think
season.
You say?
it is a long season. Look, the Falcons have gotten off to great starts, and it didn't account to anything. So
We're off to a great start.
I want to know, what do you think is going to happen on Sunday, Courtney? Really, what do you actually expect to happen?
Do you really want to know what I expect to
Yeah.
happen?
Yeah, what do you actually expect?
I'm gonna give it to you straight. I expect for the Falcons to be up at the half, and then to blow the second half, and then we win, like we always do, and like you guys always do.
Well, look, that's not how it always goes, because we beat you guys with a guy named Desmond Ridder. Yeah, I know you don't look. I don't remember Desmond Ridder, just like you don't remember Desmond Ridder. And he won a football game against you guys last year.
Right now, so
He might be in LA looking for work right as we speak. He doesn't play football anymore.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's a major point to bring up, because that's who was running the show for us last year, and we were able to still get a win. And now we've actually got a professional quarterback.
This year. You said what?
I know. That's what I'm saying. We have a professional quarterback now, so that's what makes this game so much more different. We were able to skate by with him last year, and then you guys blew us out, which that's not lost on us. We got blown out last year, that last game of the season in New Orleans, and Jameis Winston famously was supposed to be in victory formation, taking a knee, and he decided to, hand it off to Jamal Williams because he didn't score all year, and they were like, man, he had 18 touchdowns the year before, he ain't got none this year. We're gonna get him one, and that's what they ended up doing. They ended up giving it to him, and you guys scored to beat us. I think, what was the score, Lee? Was it 47-10, 47-17? It was something like that.
I turned that game off.
No, go ahead. I think you remember. I think you were there. I mean,
I have a good understanding of exactly what happened. I don't think that's lost on those guys in the locker room. So I think that it adds another layer to what's already an important game for the Falcons. So,
okay, let me ask you this. Realistically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the Falcons will have a better season than the Saints this year, knowing that the Super Bowl is in New Orleans this year and that we're playing really hard this year?
Absolutely. Dennis Allen is the head coach and Derek Carr is the quarterback.
Realistically,
I'll tell you what I do think. After the first 3 weeks, I think you guys are a lot better than I thought you were going to be, to be honest with you.
I appreciate that.
I expected you guys to be a 7-win team. That was kind of what I saw. I was like, all right, they're going to win some games because they've got a veteran defense. Yeah, 7-10. I mean, look, Drew Brees was the master of 7-9 for the longest. So
yeah, I mean, Drew Brees is gone now, so
yeah, and you guys haven't been the same since. So you've got Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr's average. I mean, that's what I think.
Yeah,
I think he's average.
I don't think anything is special about him yet, but he's new.
Well, I've watched his whole career. He doesn't get me to a TV.
We're a new team, so yeah,
Well, you got a new offensive coordinator, and he looks like he's dialing things up. He's getting the most out of the talent that's there. I expect it to be a good game because typically these are good games. They typically are always good games. And whether the Falcons are good or the Saints are good, if they're both bad, if they're both good, it's always been a good game for the most part.
Right. It's always a good game to watch.
Well, it's actually funny. They played each other 110 times, and the record is 55-55. So,
shut up.
Yeah, no. You guys have beaten us 55 times, and you lost us 55 times. So this will be
the tiebreaker.
Somewhat of a tiebreaker, right? Well, actually, there technically is a tiebreaker. We played you guys in the playoffs too, and we beat you guys. The one time that we played in the playoffs, the Falcons beat the Saints. So I kind of take that now. But you guys also have a Super Bowl, and we don't.
That's what I was.
So that's the truth. That's the true tiebreaker, right? The Saints have a Super Bowl, and we don't.
No ring.
We've been to more Super Bowls, if that counts. But
I hate Sean Payton.
I do too.
I hate
Do you
Drew
really?
Brees. Oh no.
Lee
No,
hates
really?
Sean Payton more than he hates the Saints.
Yeah, I hate
Wow.
Sean Payton more than Saints. Yeah. Well, so here's a little bit.
He's not
My
bad.
my dad's from New Orleans. My dad lives in
Okay.
New Orleans.
So what are you doing, Lee? Why are you?
I grew up here, and my mom taking me to Falcons games and to watch Michael Vick.
But your dad is from New Orleans.
My mama raised me.
But still,
I grew up around Falcons fans, but luckily, fortunately, my dad beat him.
I mean, I grew up in Atlanta too.
And
So
that's why I
there's-
don't understand why you choose to be a Saints fan. That city stinks.
My
Smells like
parents
kids
from
and vomit.
Louisiana. We're
Huh?
from Louisiana.
Yeah, my dad's from there. I used to go there every summer.
I go there every summer. My grandparents, but see, my loyalty. Wait, let me actually. show
Bring
you.
some of your merch out here too.
These are my keys. We're Saints fans. Like, this is what it is.
All this equipment.
What you say?
You make me throw up on all this equipment. Look at that.
Honestly, Lee, I think your alignment is a little misplaced, and you should probably rethink before this game on Sunday. And you can tell me offline that you're switching sides and you're.
The Falcons take my money. That's who has my heart. If you get my money, you got my heart.
What you say?
Yeah.
The Falcons get my money. I'm the season ticket holder.
Oh, you bet on this game?
No, I'm the season ticket holder.
Oh.
That's where I got the snazzy quarter button.
Oh, wow.
Well, let's call it what it really is. The city of Atlanta is the true winner here. And you know why? Because everybody from New Orleans, after they left after Katrina, they decided that they wanted to stay. And there's a reason they wanted to stay, for good reason. They're like, look, I get to see the Saints once a year.
I'm gonna stop right there.
This the only game they go to anyways. They go to that game.
You see that emblem on your shirt, that Mercedes?
Yeah.
You know who was the original Mercedes-Benz Superdome? And who was the copycat Mercedes Dome?
Are we a copycat, or did Mercedes say, man, that's the new hotness? I want to be part of that shit.
I think you guys are the copycat and we're the original.
You guys got Caesars, which is great and all, betting, but like
I no longer want to
Mercedes-Benz, Mercedes-Benz, they made a business decision.
They said I no longer want to associate my luxury brand with that nonsense.
A Mercedes girly, but the original Mercedes Superdome, come on.
Fun fact.
Hold on. You pulling out keys. We need you to drive American.
Huh?
We need you to drive American. Build Kourt tough. F-150. Drive American.
Nah.
Pollute the earth.
We're Mercedes strong. Oh, I didn't even notice your hat until just now, Pierce.
Well, always home, always repping.
Always home, always repping.
Oh, get that shit out of here. Hey, I remember. Look, Courtney, I remember the days of Aaron.
Look like.
Yeah, all right. It's a fucking boot.
Oh, Justin Tim.
Y'all couldn't even get the Super Bowl right for New Orleans, man. Y'all couldn't give Wayne his credit. Maybe get Master P. Up there and
I agree with you on that. I actually do agree with you on that. I think Master P, Juvenile, Lil Wayne, Hurricane Chris, they all could have did it together.
Hell no. Holmes said we want to make money. Kendrick got the biggest song in 5 years. Get him up to
That's messed up. Like, come on, Lil Wayne is New Orleans. Like, we gotta be serious.
And don't nobody move to New Orleans. Niggas move to LA.
But people respect New Orleans because I feel like New Orleans is like the only real like culture in the United States. Like, we have real culture.
Atlanta's not real culture.
I see where you're going. I would say that it is one of the better subcultures of a mainstream culture.
It's unique. It's unique, but
it's own thing.
But Atlanta,
I low-key feel like we're like the Caribbean of the United States.
I don't really care for the Caribbean.
You say?
I don't really care for the Caribbean.
Me neither.
Wow, but I feel like you've been and you appreciate their culture.
Not really. But here's
Yeah,
the thing, I don't appreciate it because I've experienced some of it.
Yeah. It's
I
your
just like,
culture too. Your dad is from there.
no, I love New Orleans culture. Don't get me wrong, I love New Orleans culture. I actually love the city of New Orleans. I think it's a great city. Somewhat underrated. Yeah, you talk about Bourbon Street and all that bullshit. There's so much more in New Orleans than Bourbon Street.
Exactly.
Great
Exactly.
food. If you actually want to go out, go to Frenchman Street. It's safer over
Yeah.
there and less tourists. Doesn't smell like piss.
Yeah.
You can gamble. You can get the nice upscale New Orleans food. You go to the hood and get the real shit. Like,
Go to Ninth
love it.
Ward, get some real shit over there.
You said what?
You say you can go to Ninth Ward and get some real shit over
What
there.
about the Ninth Ward?
Or you can go to Elysian Fields and get some nice bougie shit over there.
All my family in the Ninth Ward. You don't know about the Ninth.
I know about the Ninth Ward. My grandmother is from the Ninth Ward. Still has a house on France Street in the Ninth Ward.
So basically, you guys are saying just don't go to Acme Oysters.
Nah, Acme is still good. Acme is still straight, but it's where everybody's gonna go. So
You want to hear a funny New Orleans story? So I got family in New Orleans, and my wife has family in New Orleans.
oh really?
Yeah, so we go down to visit our aunt, and her parents were there and all of this stuff. And it was one of the most awkward things that ever happened to me. Because my wife's Salvadorian, they're all hanging out at the house, and they're like cooking Salvadorian food and stuff. And you have one or two meals. It's like, hey, New Orleans to go out to eat,
Yeah.
And I finally have to, tell my wife and my mother-in-law, like, hey, no offense, I didn't come to New Orleans to eat Salvadorian food. I came back to gain 5 pounds in 3 days.
I mean, it's easy to gain 5 pounds in 3 days out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at Zion Williamson. I mean,
I was
it's
in New
true.
Orleans for work. I did 2 5-day trips in like a span of about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
My carrying weight went up 10 pounds.
10 pounds?
Yeah.
Hey, look, a lot of beignets, po' boys,
And beer.
daiquiris.
So good. Oh
Grenades.
my God. What I would crawfish, gumbo, etouffee.
Yeah, little etouffee. Yeah.
Actually,
Hey, funny. Josh Holsey. We haven't even done our daily Josh Holsey gag yet, Lee. But Josh Holsey. Well, we like to bring Josh Holsey up on this show, and yeah, some sort of no. He's actually out in Italy, but try to trash him in one way or another. But point being, Josh actually took me to a great Creole New Orleans restaurant in San Diego. It is honestly, it's like
really
put it this way. Honestly, I put it up there in my top 5, and I've been a lot of places to eat. It's one of my.
I haven't been.
It's called Louisiana Purchase. Look it up.
I'm gonna write this down.
Yeah, write it down. If the next time you're in San Diego, I swear it is worth it. It is worth going to.
Louisiana Purchase.
Yeah, that's what it's called. It is fantastic. The chef there, he's from New Orleans, of course. But
San Diego, I used to go to a lot.
I'm actually trying a New Orleans spot out here, Creole Cajun spot. My dad is coming next weekend, and so we're going to, I think it's called Harold Bell's, and it's out here. So we're going to try this new Creole spot, and
you gonna put some merch up in there?
What you say?
You gonna get the merch in there?
The merch?
Yeah, you gonna put some merch in the restaurant.
Well, I have my own merch. It's called Harold George.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your merch in the New Orleans spot.
I should ask them, right?
Yeah, you need to make some male merch too, by the way. I checked out the site.
It's a small growing business until we get there. It's a woman's owned, Black owned, Harold George with the fleur de lis. And it actually is my grandfather on my mother's side, his first name, and then my dad's last name. And
I think what you have is good looking stuff.
Thank you. Really?
It's that emblem that just,
What is that?
that emblem you got.
Yeah, it's nice, right?
Makes me sick. But
Oh my God.
I didn't. At this point, I
At
don't
least
even know
we're
why
not
I
a
did
dirty
this. I'm just
bird.
saying, oh my goodness. Well, at least we're not a dirty city. I mean, like, the fuck, like, I'd rather be a dirty bird than a dirty city. All right. Like,
Whatever. I mean, at least we're not scammers, so.
well, look, that culture was brought down here. That is not an Atlanta thing.
It's an Atlanta thing.
It's all these niggas from New York, you know,
Detroit,
yeah,
New
Chicago,
Orleans,
New
Katrina.
Orleans. That's where all that shit's
It
coming
is
from.
not
That-
Katrina. It is
that
not
is not-
Katrina.
That is not. That's new Atlanta culture. That ain't Atlanta culture.
I didn't grow up on that.
So you didn't. So you didn't.
Atlanta
grow up
culture is
in
about getting
Atlanta?
crunk and fucking having a good time in the club. You know, that's Atlanta culture.
That's Atlanta. That's facts.
You know, look, somebody like a Big Meech, guys like that started that shit, and Big Meech's not from here, so.
You know,
Okay.
they really
Well, I'll let
ruined
you have. I mean, I grew up in Atlanta, and I can say,
Well, look, Courtney. Actually, fun fact for the people that don't know, Courtney and Nia Edwards are both in the "My President Is Black" video. So, I mean, look,
Yeah.
that certifies you. Obviously, you're in a Jeezy music video, and it's about
Yeah.
Barack Obama.
Oh!
So, like,
How did that happen?
did you know about that?
No, let's find this out.
So I was a camp counselor at a summer camp in high school. No, middle and high school. And one of the kids, his uncle was Jeezy, and he's like, it was like a small private camp you had to pay to go. It's like bougie, but I was the counselor, and my friend, her mom was the owner of it, and then actually my friend, she's still my friend. And T.I.'s kids went there. All the like Atlanta celebrity kids went to the camp, and they were like, "We're shooting the My President Is Black video this weekend. You guys should come out." And there was no guarantee that we were going to be in the video, but like we went out. I like begged my dad to take me because this is before I drove. I was like, "Please just drop me off to this video shoot," and I ended up in the video.
cheesing like a motherfucker too.
Hey,
So excited.
question for you,
Because-
Courtney.
There were
Look,
girls
yeah.
there that dressed like they dressed up and they were like, "We're gonna be in the video." Didn't get in the video.
Yeah, look,
It's-
everybody wanted to be a Melissa Ford before, we had IG models.
Before
and
IG.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Question for you, Courtney.
Yeah.
Okay, you talked about working at a bougie camp. I know you. I met your parents. You went to Spelman.
Yeah.
Nice looking young lady. You're out here in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Why aren't you bougie?
Why am I not what?
Why aren't you bougie?
I don't know. I just down to earth.
Or maybe you are bougie, but I'm always around you in comfortable situations. So
She's bougie. She's a certain kind of bougie, though. It's not
What's the kind of bougie, Pierce?
you're not a new bougie. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
not like that kind of bougie. But there's a bouginess to you. Like, it's hard to explain, especially I think because at least one of the things that we certainly have in common outside of
Private school.
the Saints and stuff, right? It's going to private school
Yeah,
here,
I'm
and I
getting
think that
very much private school right
there
now.
are like little things that you can tell about somebody. You're like, I knew a nigga was going to do some shit like that, and I want to almost pinpoint like a situation, but I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
And this is made up, but this is something that I can already see like you doing. It can be something as simple as picking out a place to go to eat.
To go.
We
eat.
might be trying to, you can take it back to something like high school. You're going
Okay.
out to eat. Everybody's talking about getting something to eat,
Okay.
and like there's like a certain place that you'll just refuse to eat, and it's just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah,
Me?
basically like I'm too fucking good for this. Yeah, like basically, I'm not
It's just-
saying you explicitly, but like I see how that something like that plays out.
When's the last time you've been to Taco Bell?
Oh,
Yeah. I bet you don't want to go on a first date to a chain restaurant, even if it's a respected chain restaurant.
Yeah, you wouldn't take the nigga seriously. Tell the truth. You wouldn't take the nigga seriously. And that's okay. Look, I wouldn't go to a chain restaurant. So, like,
Right. It's just, I'm not saying I'm above it, but it's just certain things. We have standards, we have boundaries. We've been there.
and that's where
we've
that's
been
where the
there. Let's say
bouginess
that.
comes in, though.
I don't think that's bougie because I'm a public school kid, and I got a blue collar job, and I'm not going to a chain restaurant to enjoy my food.
Right. Why would you waste money here?
Like,
But
like,
if a
like,
guy wants to take you there, maybe he doesn't want to go to a hustle and bustle. Maybe he doesn't want to go to a fucking Towels. All right, maybe he wants PF chains instead.
But see, I
Like,
wouldn't even be opposed to going. See, okay, this is where it gets tricky. We don't have to go to Tao, but don't take me to Red Lobster. We could go to like a mom and pop place that is still like, budget
affordable.
friendly, but like not chain.
can we go to Applebee's after for drinks?
We can absolutely not go to Applebee's after for drinks because I don't drink.
As of today.
But you don't have to spend $17 on a drink. That's crazy.
No,
Yeah.
I know what you mean. It's the thought and the effort and the understanding.
Exactly. There we go.
It's not the dollar figure that comes behind it. It's more so.
Exactly.
Because if you want soul food, I imagine you go to a good hole in the wall spot.
Yeah, like let's go to an authentic place as opposed to Applebee's.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
I appreciate that.
I thought my Applebee's phase in life was over. And then when I
Are
moved
you
to
back at
Albany,
Applebee's?
hold on, no, I'll tell you. When I moved to Albany, there was an Applebee's right by my apartment. So if I wanted to like watch a game, I could go in there, drink a beer and watch the game, right?
And I'm not judging. It's convenient.
Then I would come back to Cartersville on the weekends, and my friends would be like, "Oh yeah, we gotta go to Applebee's," and I'm like, "What?" But Applebee's would have a vibe in there, and then like
I mean, if it's a vibe,
and
Well-
I'm sitting in there, I'm like, I don't even want cheese sticks. It's hard to fuck up cheese sticks.
They're a great idea when you always go to these type of places like
Yes.
any of the good restaurants here, especially if you're like nestled in a relationship with somebody. It's actually kind of fun to do it, to be honest with you, because you both can say, God, I haven't been here in forever. And then you start to kind of pick apart the place. But then you remember like, damn, this was good about this place. And you're like, that shit's underrated. And because your palate has advanced and it's grown so much, it makes you appreciate something that is, from the past for you. And it's not like you're trying to go there all the time, but it's fun to do it and revisit it. Because think about it, you can turn that shit into a game.
I did that recently with Benihana's, and I was like, "Oh, this is cute." They did the like fire thing and the
volcano,
the train.
Sometimes they'll make a heart. They'll make a heart. Yeah,
they're
playing around.
Okay. I've had my fix for the next 10 years.
They'll catch a nigga with his mouth. He's like, you want me to drop the shrimp in your mouth? And nigga's like, yeah, come on, bring it on. Like, and then he's on somebody else's IG story, and somebody's like, look at this sucker
exactly.
here.
And then his wife is like asking questions.
Hey, he turns into a random trending topic on Twitter. Like, look at this nigga. It's like couldn't be me,
But that's so funny when you think about like how your palate grows and expands over the years, and to where at one point some place was like a spot to go to. Like we joke about fucking Roussan's, and like I put the picture to the group that I was over there.
Roussan's still good,
but niggas aren't going there like they would in college.
You're not going there. You're not going there to go out to eat.
No.
Yeah, you're going there to grab something to eat. That's the difference.
Right. You might do that shit on your own. Like,
or I'm right here. Let me go back in here for nostalgia. But I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be like, hey, I got this great sushi spot in the city.
Yeah, right. You're right. You're not
Russell's.
recommending Russell's to somebody.
Yeah,
Here's
no.
the one thing I appreciate about podding with Parlay P and then having you come on here is we can like low key be black elitists while still being like down to earth people.
Yes.
Because there are people in my life who could listen to this whole conversation and be like, "This nigga would Benny I'm opening up for that."
People
Look,
would definitely
but there's
agree.
that. But look, and here's the thing: you go out to Benihana, and let's say, somebody gets the steak, somebody gets the shrimp. Let's say you get a sushi roll to share, and you both get 2 drinks. You're still spending $150.
Yeah, you're still
So,
gonna spend.
so it's not like it's a bullshit place to go. It's not bullshit. It's just
I'd rather
It's just a-
spend 180 for better.
it's weird because like I guess Benihana is chain, but
It's
like
chain.
yeah, no, because it's in multiple states, but it's not chain.
It's
You know what I mean?
chain.
Like there's not a Benihana in Indianapolis.
I
You
bet
know what I
it is.
mean? I'm sure that there's a hibachi restaurant that's like it, but I'm just saying there's probably not a Benihana there.
I went to Benihana in Detroit by the airport.
Pie. Benihana is not what
Hold
you
on.
remember.
Let me
it to
There's
give me a second.
Benihana in
I'm searching
Monterey,
that.
California, and they barely have chain restaurants in Monterey. They got Benihana.
be. They have Benihana.
Hold on. I'm searching it.
I'm
And I
telling
tell you
you.
what, Courtney, if you ever find yourself in Monterey, California, absolutely great food. Great food.
Monterey,
Yeah.
and I've heard of it.
It is a little bit south of the bay, about an hour and a half south of San Jose.
Okay.
It is a rich old people's town, great local restaurants, great golf. The beach is cool, but it's fucking cold all year.
All year?
It's like 65 and cloudy all year.
Oh.
They have a few weeks of sun, but if you're seeing someone, if you ever find yourself in a serious relationship, don't know what's going on at home with you, not gonna ask. But that's a good a couple's weekend getaway type thing. Go to Carmel by the sea, all that stuff.
Okay. Monterey.
Morris Point. Very datey.
It's gay?
No, datey.
Datey. Okay.
Yeah, very datey. I didn't enjoy Monterey until I met my wife.
Really?
Yeah, because then I could like these nicer.
But you like that it's like overcast all the time?
No, I hate that.
Okay.
But I was stuck there for work, but like.
But it's datey and cute.
Very, very datey. Very.
Okay.
Datey.
I mean, I'm not opposed to checking it out.
You know when you're single and you want to go, it's just certain spots you just don't want to go to and sit at the bar, sit at the table by yourself. Monterey has a lot of those spots. You just want somebody across from you. But me as a man who's paid for this, I can't just bring everybody in here.
Yeah.
You're back to me.
You found
it? Now I'm looking. Hold on. Because what it is, let me just type this in. I'm going to type in Benny. Now I'm going to type in Benihana, Indianapolis. And let's see if there's one in fucking Indianapolis.
I'm telling you.
All right, there is one in Indianapolis.
It's a chain.
Okay, hold on. I gotta think of an obscure city.
I went to one recently and they had carpet on the floor.
Ew.
It definitely had a smell.
Hold on. I've got to think of a city.
Yeah.
They don't have one.
I'm gonna type in Portland. Okay, there's one in Portland. Look, all right, these are major cities.
I'm telling you, it's a chain. It's like McDonald's.
No, I know it's a chain. It says that there are 79 total locations in the United States.
Well, there's 50 states.
It's like
so that's one, and there's. I mean, I'm sure there's 2 in New York. There's like 3 in LA. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I guess my point is this. Yes, it is chain.
To tape for Benihana?
No, I'm not trying to put Benihana on the same level as Applebee's. I don't believe in it. So it's like.
No, it's not. It's not on the same level as Applebee's.
It is. Guys, I'm telling you, I went recently. It's neck and neck with Red Lobster and Applebee's. Like,
I'm not.
Courtney.
Lee, we can't hear you, by the way.
Maybe a notch up, but it is not what you remember of.
Unmute your mic, Lee.
It's not muted. You can't hear me?
I can hear him. You can't hear him?
No. I can hear you, but I can't hear him.
I can hear Lee.
Okay, well, Kourt.
Here, hold on. I know what to do.
Okay.
So here's the thing. It's
Uh-oh.
not. It's not on the level. It's a step above Applebee's, Outback, and Red Lobster. And here's why. As somebody who spends time around some less cultured people who going to Atlanta is a big deal for them.
Uh-huh.
That's the thing. It's like, oh, Benihana. They're above Applebee's. Benihana's.
Okay, let me say this.
It's as chain as
Benihana
Applebee's.
has the whole hibachi element, but Red Lobster has like the live lobsters that you can see.
Right. They're a chain. They're a chain Atlanta fish market.
Would
that
you
fair?
put them on Atlanta Fish Market level?
No. I'm not saying they're on the same level. I'm just saying that, like, when you go to Atlanta Fish Market, they have lobster. Yeah, they have lobster there too, and fish and shit that you can look at. Like, yeah. No, of course I don't put it on the same level of a Buckhead Life restaurant. You know.
Yeah.
And look, but even a place like Atlanta Fish Market, I don't have no issue with the Atlanta Fish Market.
No.
But like, that's not a place I would even go anymore.
Really? See, I haven't been in a while, but
not as a date.
Nice.
I took my girlfriend in college there for her birthday. I took her there for her 18th birthday, bro. And
how old were you?
18. No, or 19. 18 or 19. This motherfucker's trying to catch me up. You gotta remember, Lee, I have a late birthday. So one way or another, not to mention I was no more than 2 years and she was at Spelman. So look, I don't know where this guy's coming from with this stuff. Don't throw me in a ditty party that I didn't attend. All right. Don't put me in the same conversation of Meek Mill. All right.
No.
I would never.
You know.
I know you're not a power bottom.
Right. I've got some class about myself. All right. You know,
you take women to Atlanta Fish Market. That's class.
Yeah, back in college.
Back in college.
You know where I take women now? Nowhere. But when I was taking women places, I traveled. We want to go get something to eat? Hey, let's go to a different city to do it. You know.
See, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
I take my wife to my kitchen and I say, hey, baby, this is what I want.
Oh my God.
I'm joking. I primarily do.
You and Harrison Bucker would be really good friends. You know, he's from Atlanta too, so.
No, but Mariah cook at home most of the time. I
like cooking too. I like a home cooked meal.
Let me see. If there's anything else you want to talk about, Courtney? It's just good to see you, good to talk to you, and we
good to talk to y'all too.
Especially being fucking food snobs. Oh, speaking of which, Parlay Pete, I got a spot in Vinings I need to take you to.
In where?
Give me a
name.
Vinings?
Well,
if you're home for Christmas, we should check something out, you know. They'll have $17 drinks. Maybe I'll be drinking by then.
I forgot the name of it. I know where it's at, but the bar is speakeasy style. So they got the whole restaurant thing going on.
Nice.
And then you go back to the back, speakeasy style bar, super dope.
Wait, is that the place? Did we go to that? We went to that place.
No, you're talking about Parlor, different place.
Yeah, and Parlor is shut down now. I mean, Peter Street is done now. I mean, well, the crew and stuff is still, and 2 Chainz and shit is still down there. But like, that's on the other end of the street.
Done?
Yeah, in terms of like, there's like 2-3 bars over there, but that's it. Like, yeah, you gotta remember. At one point, it was like 13 or 14 bars.
Yeah, that was like the place to go.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Well, you know, they're gentrifying. They gotta get these niggas up out of here.
Wow, I didn't know that. So where do you guys go now?
So, well, there's a couple of places here. I don't go out nearly as much as I used to, but like,
Yeah, me either.
the places though to go here, like, and I was kind of actually, it's funny. The first time I went here, I was in college, but one of my favorite places to recommend to people and to go in Atlanta is Octopus Bar. Octopus Bar is a speakeasy, and it's
Okay.
like a late night speakeasy. So Anthony, it's funny, somebody can introduce something to you in your own city that you didn't even know about. I
Yeah.
first saw it on Anthony Bourdain, and what it is it used to be a restaurant, and then at night it turned into a speakeasy, but it was like a secret bar. It wasn't like just open to everybody. It's like in this backside room. And Octopus Bar, now it's like an official thing that, like, I could go there now, and this is the best part. It's basically the bartender's bar. You go there, it's open from 10 to 2, and it's only open, or no, it's 10:30 to 2:30, and it's only open. It used to only be open on Friday and Saturday. Now you can go Tuesday through Saturday, but it's only open for 4 hours. It is a great place to go and get drinks, and they have like a fucking great like menu. Like the menu is great. Yeah. I took Demi there. I'm trying to think. I feel like
we should go there. We should go there.
We can. No, we can. Like, I highly recommend it. It's one of my, and it's in East Atlanta Village. So like, it's like one of my go-to places if I'm trying to recommend something to somebody, especially late night too.
Well, my
dad's it's great because it is like you can get food if you want, but like you can go up there and like you can just tell the bartender, man, make me something. And he's not just gonna make you an old fashioned. He's gonna make you something like
a real drink.
Yeah, it'll be just something unique that you've never had. Like, he's kind of almost coming up with it on the spot.
Easy vibes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm down.
That's the one thing about a bartender, really a great bartender. You build some rapport with them. You order your usuals, and then you go in there and you say, "Hey, make me something." And all they want to know is what liquor are you drinking that night, and they make something that appeals to your palate.
That was so Black elitist of you to say, make me something. Look. But I love it.
I have an affinity for bartenders. And I remember having this conversation with my wife. She knows I like bartenders. She's like, this is before we got married. She's like, you fucking don't. I said, no, I like fucking bartender.
Yeah.
I can get a heavy pour and a light price as a single man. There's women here.
Yeah.
None of these women can give me a heavy pour and a light price. The only thing they can do is give me, maybe conversation, maybe love back then. But I know I'm going to want a heavy pour and a light price every weekend. I'm not messing that up.
How do you feel about mezcal? Because everyone's like in love with mezcal.
I gotta be in the mood for it. I can actually do without mezcal.
Really?
Cool sometimes, but just give me a good reposado or a good anejo, and probably like Pete and I talk about this a lot. Like you go to a good liquor store.
Yeah.
So many great quality tequilas, good taste, nice and smooth in that $40 to $80 range that are just like a no-name tequila. That get no love, but it's great fucking tequila. I'm not going to assume anything, but you live in California. Y'all have dispensaries.
Yeah.
You can go into a dispensary, and there's like this no-name shit in there, and it's like $45 for a set. It's good quality shit. It's not cookies because it doesn't have the name. The cookies don't have the head to the white meat.
Yeah.
Good stuff. It's just not as popular.
It's not KK. It's not Khalifa Kush, But I, as far as mezcal goes, I mean, that's one of those things that I like to get out made for me. I'm not necessarily buying mezcal.
Yeah, you want someone to pour you a drink with mezcal.
Yeah, I'll go to an upscale Hispanic spot, like in Vegas or something. It would be like Javier's or something like that. Maybe go there to get, and you'll get if it's like a special drink or something, they're like, we've got this cucumber jalapeno mezcal fucking margarita with agave nectar. Yeah, with this snail agave nectar, and it's just like, yeah, I'll take it. As the
I'll try it.
bartender, I was like, does he have Parkinson's or something? And they're like, yeah, he does. So I was like, all right, well, I'll take a double of it then. And you do it in those situations, but in terms of me buying it, now I'll stick to just buying tequila. But that's because I like to sit up and I don't shoot tequila. I like to drink tequila.
You're lying.
I don't shoot it. Like even when I get shots, I like drink it.
Oh, they had good tequila at the tailgate last week, and I was like, I can't shoot this. I have to stick.
You guys should try my approach. No drinking.
Not drinking?
Yeah, just try it. You don't have
Well,
to stick with it.
I don't drink nearly as much as I used to.
I mean, well, okay.
But I'm not 100% off the titty. No.
Try it for like a couple weeks.
No, you got to wane me off. I can't. You take that baby off that titty.
You can do, dry.
They're gonna go nuts.
Sober September.
Nah. The binky's not the same. Right? I can't sit up and get mocktails. I never. Look, and I'm somebody that enjoys a good sparkling water. I go out and drink water. Some good sparkling water. But like,
try it.
Because if I'm gonna do it, I go weekends without drinking sometimes. Now football season's here. I don't.
What's your longest go?
Ever?
I
went 6 months before.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, I kind of was ordered to too.
Okay.
If you remember, I got a DUI freshman year, and I was on probation, and they were testing me. So, like, I was underage, I got tested for
after 24 hours. No.
48.
Yeah. They had a test, and you got to remember, I can't just dilute it in piss water because then it's inconclusive, and then they're gonna,
conclude that you did.
Yep, exactly. And so I just didn't do it. I mean, it was tough because I had to go out with Josh Holsey, and that's a hard person to go out with and not drink because you're just like, man, that guy looks like he's having all the fun. And so. But I've done it before, and even after that, like of legal age, not doing it. Like I've gone, I could say I've gone a month or some change. Like I've done 30 days for sure.
Okay.
I don't know if I've done 30 days, but I went about 60 days, and I had like minimal drinks on the weekend. I mean, like it would be like a Friday nightcap.
Okay.
Not even a buzz over about a 2 to 3 months.
Okay. But never like a no drinking. See, that it makes you think like, wow, I've never not drank since what?
High school.
15? Yeah, like.
Yeah, pretty fucking bad.
Yeah. And when you think about it, you're like, shit, it's a long time I've been drinking poison.
I remember at one point I was actually really bad when I was living in San Diego. I was pretty much taking on the sauce every night.
Every night.
I was in a low place in life.
Yeah, it happens.
Strip club 2-3 nights a week.
See, now that's where the issue is: going to the strip club 2 or 3 nights a week.
2 to 3 nights.
Look, I mean, yeah, like the drinking's bad, but like once you start involving the women with it. That is where it's like, all right, this guy, we got to get some help.
Well, here's the problem, Courtney.
And it's a safe space. We're not here to judge.
Yeah, no one's judging.
Yes. I became a regular. So if you go in there on a Tuesday or Wednesday, it was pretty slow. But the good girls still work after 11. So now you get to hang out with your favorite.
The good girls.
Yeah. But there's tiers in those places. Mm-hmm. So you can hang out with your favorite stripper for like 2 hours, and you're not spending crazy money because it's dead in there, and y'all build up so much rapport that y'all are actually cool with each other. So you just sit there, you buy her a shot here and there, and she pay it back. You might go buy a couple lap dances, but you're not in there going crazy.
How much is a lap dance?
There it was 20, but I got a better price because I was a regular.
Okay.
So I kind of just would give her money, and we weren't counting songs.
So normally it's like 20 a song.
Yeah, anywhere from 5 to 20 a song. I don't want a $5 lap dance.
What I mean, there's like a different quality of a lap dance with the $5 lap dance.
And the girl's gonna give you a lap dance for $5. What are we doing? And if I can get you first night just off of meeting you at a party in the text, why would I ever take you on a date?
I see.
You know,
what
same mindset.
I see what you mean.
Look, guys, we've been here for 3 hours, and I talk to y'all. And hey, Courtney, would love for you to come back.
I would love to come back. Have me back. Let me know.
Come back for a little real hour.
Yeah.
Hey,
Are you guys?
you know, you Hollywood folks 3 hours at 45 minutes.
Do you guys stay on? Like, should I go? Or do you guys have your like?
You can stay on for the pics if you want to.
No, I mean, what? I mean, you let me know. What's the?
Stay on for the pics.
For the pics?
Yeah, we're about to do some gambling pics.
Okay. What do we pose?
No. Gambling like actual like bets that Pierce is gonna give out to the people.
Wait. Okay. What do you?
It's the picks of the week. Basically, my gambling advice to everybody.
Oh.
Sit here, smile, and be pretty. Okay.
No, I'm gonna go. You guys do your picks.
All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
I was going to say, I appreciate you for coming on, Courtney. I love you. Thank you so much.
I love you too.
And we will talk soon.
Okay, yeah, and send me the clips and stuff.
Absolutely.
All right.
Rise up.
All right. Go Birds.
Who that?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That was fun.
That was fun. Hold on 1 second. I want to pull up because what I did was I wrote down because obviously I had to send it to you earlier. I've got my computer here. Let me just pull it up real quick. While we get that ready. Yeah. It was great having her on. Actually, Courtney just texted me immediately afterwards and said that was so much fun. She's like, I want to come back on.
Yeah.
So we will definitely make time to have her certainly come back on. And who knows, maybe we can, like I said, kind of what we kind of wanted anyways, have her potentially as a monthly co-host.
Yeah, she definitely brings a different dynamic to the show, and the more and more she does it, yeah, we'll be good.
Absolutely. Well, I'm ready to rock and roll when you are, brother.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Parlay P's College Football
666. All right, so we've got a whale this week in the college football six-pack, and everybody knows what that whale is. Obviously, we spoke about it a little bit earlier on the show. It's no secret. It's Georgia at Bama week, and we're going to get to that last. But let's go into a couple of games that a lot of people may not be paying attention to because everybody is looking forward to Georgia at Bama. We're going to start off with Liberty at App State. App State's gotten their ass kicked fucking twice already this year. Blown out by Clemson, which isn't a surprise on the surface of who it is versus who it is, but it is a surprise because it shouldn't have been that bad. And then App State got their ass kicked last Thursday at home by South Alabama. Give me Liberty on the money line. I think that they keep their Power 5 hopes of being that team that gets into the playoffs. And they just are a super talented team. And I feel like this is the third straight week that I've taken Liberty. But this week we're going to do Liberty on the money line at App State. Next, we got Washington State at Boise State. Interesting game, to be honest with you, because Washington State has kind of surprised a lot of people. They beat Washington in the Apple Cup. Obviously, you know, they're one of the lone two, or not the lone, but one of the duo of the Pac-12 in its remains that's starting to pick up its pieces. But I think that Boise State's too much for them, and I think that Boise State on the money line is the play here. We saw a lot out of Boise State. They've probably got the best running back in the country. They beat, or they didn't beat Oregon, but they had a damn good match with Oregon. I like Boise at home on the money line. Next, we got Minnesota at Michigan. This was pretty simple. Honestly, Michigan's money line is just such good odds. I would be shocked if they disappointed the week after beating USC at home, and especially doing it at home again. So give me Michigan on the money line. And now we're going to get to the enchilada of it all. We got Oklahoma at Auburn. Interesting game because Oklahoma switched. Anyone that watched Oklahoma, Tennessee, go Vols, right, Lee? Anyone that watched Oklahoma against Tennessee last week saw that there was a quarterback change that was made. I liked what I saw out of the kid. I know that he's one of the top 3 guys that came out this year. He looked athletic. He looked spry. And let me tell you, what Auburn's got cooking over there is not good. So give me Oklahoma on the money line at Auburn. Auburn's a pretty bad team, man. They're a bad team. I'm a little surprised considering this is Hugh Freeze's second year, but give me Oklahoma on the money line. I think they get their first SEC win on the road. And then next, I know I said that we were on the enchilada this last game. Well, this is the pitcher of Martini because this is what everybody really came for. Margarita, rather. This is what everybody really came for. We got Georgia at Alabama. I'm going to be touching both ends of this. So we're going to take Georgia at Alabama over 48.5, and then we're also going to take Georgia on the money line. I like the dogs. I like Kirby to set the precedent and set up what's going to really be the showdown with Texas because I think that is actually going to be the game. I think that this is a game that Alabama is supposed to lose, and that's why Georgia's favored. But give me Georgia on the money line and then over 48.5 in the game.
All right, so we've got we have the picks here on the phone. So we've got Liberty on the money line, Boise State on the money line.
Yep.
Michigan on the money line.
Yep.
Oklahoma -2. Georgia, Alabama over 48.5.
Yep.
Georgia on the money line.
Yes, sir.
You like it? I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Parlay P's NFL 6.
666. Yeah, feels good. We actually had a winning record in the NFL last week, so that was good to know. And considering it was a ton of upsets last week, I don't know if anyone took notice of that, but there were a ton of fucking upsets last week. I think that everything comes back down to earth this week, but we've actually got a pretty juicy slate in the NFL. A lot of storylines, a lot of games that matter. And I know every game matters in the NFL, but a lot of these games matter. And I'm not going to touch the obvious one that everybody wants me to touch because I just don't like doing it because everybody knows I have a biasness. But I also do think that we're going to win. But it's not going to be a part of the 6-track. We're going to start off with that steamer on Sunday night. Bills at Ravens. This one is super duper interesting to me because the Bills are coming in hot. The Ravens kind of, in a weird way, their backs are still against the wall. Even at 1-2, you can't really afford to lose this game because of what their schedule looks like. I like the Ravens -2.5. I think that the Bills come back down to earth. I think that they're able to get to Josh Allen. And I like Lamar at home in primetime. Give me the Ravens -2.5. Next, we got the Bengals at the Panthers. This one is a very interesting game because the Bengals are 0-3. The Panthers are 1-2 and look like they have a pulse. Not to mention, this is Andy Dalton's first game against the Cincinnati Bengals. I didn't realize that he hadn't played the Bengals yet. Did you realize that this is the first time? So this is the first time that Andy Dalton's going to get to go against his former team, albeit in Carolina. But I expect Carolina fan base to actually have a pulse because they're getting a team that's in the dumps, and it's not like the Bengals fans just travel well either. So I expect the Panthers to have a respectable number of fans at the game this week. But with that being said, I still like the Bengals. I just don't see them starting 0-4. I think that the game is going to be close. And I wanted to touch the spread and go Carolina, but the safer bet here is that the Bengals just get it done. So give me the Bengals on the money line. Next, we got the Eagles at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Big game, huge spot. I like the points. I'm rooting for the points because I need Mike Evans to show up and make you look silly in this trade. So give me over 43.5. it's hard to believe that the Bucs only scored 7 points at home last week. And same thing with the Eagles. They scored 15 points. I just expect there to be some points getting scored in this game because both teams are overdue to put points on the board. Give me over 43.5, Eagles at Bucs. And in this case, I did buy a point because it was 44.5, but I bought a point. Most of your bookies will let you buy a point. Take over 43.5. I could easily see a 24-21, 24-20 type game. Next, we got the Steelers at the Colts. Here's the upset of the week. I like the Colts at home. I think that the Steelers have been getting by. They showed Justin Fields' stats through 3 games, and it looks like one really good game for him. That's what his numbers read. His numbers read like 280 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and no turnovers. And I'm like, man, Sam Darnold did that in a half the other day. So give me the Colts on the money line. I think it's a huge spot for Anthony Richardson to show that the Colts can still contend for a playoff spot this year, considering Gardner Minshew might be getting benched by the Raiders. And it's like, well, he almost took us to the playoffs. So what's your deal, guy? I like the Colts on the money line as dogs here. They're my dog of the week. Next, we got Next, we got the Jaguars at the Texans. Big bounce back spot here for not Trevor Lawrence, but for C.J. Stroud. I like the Texans on the money line. They're not really giving them enough respect, and I wanted to take the spread, but I want to win. I think everybody else here wants to win. I don't think we care in what fashion we win. I just think that we want to win. So I'm taking the easy way out. Give me the Texans on the money line. They should make easy work of the Jags, but I also expect the Jags to be playing as if their season's on the line because in some degrees it kind of is. If they drop to 0-4, they automatically start becoming the favorite.
Can't hear you. Yeah, they dropped to 0-4.
Can you see me?
Yep,
Hold on.
back. You're back. You're good.
Hold on.
What you're saying is, if they drop to 0-4, they're going to be the favorite for Coach Fire. And we definitely thought that was going to happen in New Orleans this year, but it did. You're good if you talk.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. What it is this flash flood warning just popped up on my phone, and for everybody that's looking, I'm on my phone. That's why. Nonetheless, this is kind of do or die for them, but I like the Texans on the money line at home. And then the final game of the 6-pack, we got the Browns at the Raiders. Honestly, a game I kind of wanted to stay away from, but, I need to see that Deshaun Watson is a piece of shit to just believe it, that even his corpse is no longer worth anything. Because this is the type of game where we see if his corpse is even worth anything anymore. Give me the Browns on the money line at the Raiders. This game is a pick 'em, and for good reason. The Browns have not looked good, and honestly, the Raiders' one win was fluke. So, now this is kind of like who are we eliminating from even having a chance to compete for that final wild card spot? I like the Browns on the money line. I think that the defense travels, and I think that Deshaun Watson does enough against Gardner Minshew.
All right, so we got Baltimore Ravens minus 2.5 versus Buffalo.
Yep.
Cincinnati on the money line versus Carolina. Philly at Tampa over 44.5. We got the Colts as the dog of the week on the money line.
Yep.
Houston Texans on the money line and the Cleveland Browns on the money line.
Yep.
You like it. I love it.
And when you love it and I like it, that means it's only time for one thing. Lead three. Lead three.
That's what all year. All right, so for League 3, I'm just going to let my bias show. I'm going to take 2 college picks, and I'm going to take that Georgia-Alabama over 48.5 points. They're going to score some points, okay? Just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
This ain't your daddy's NCC. We play offense now. Got to take Georgia on the money line. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs, man. Sick.
And then the spike this bad boy up. Here's what I got for you. Give me Baltimore and Baltimore minus 2.5.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah. Lamar shakes back. We get to 500, and we have a battle of the 2 best quarterbacks in the AFC that aren't Patrick Mahomes.
You know, I'm a little surprised you didn't take the easy way out here, Lee. I was expecting you to take a dump on 16 and just take the Texans.
I thought about it, but as somebody trying to give out a three-leg parlay, just looking at the odds on it, I'm like, let me not give them the Houston Texans who are minus 300. Let me give them something that's a little bit better.
Yeah.
And if you want to make it a fourth, go ahead and take the Houston Texans.
Yeah, well, because look, I was about to say they're not dropping 2 in a row and not doing it at home. And if so, then we're going to start having questions about whether or not we crown C.J. Stroud too soon. You know?
Absolutely, yeah. Look here, 16's not playing in Cartersville anymore, so don't think this ain't Kansas.
You got to put that clip up too.
Huh?
I said you got to put the clips up for that, or send it to me.
I'll send you the clips. I will make clips. I'll spend some time this weekend since I'm not traveling, and early next week, clipping up the stuff from Courtney like I used to do back in the day, and we'll have a bunch of clips to go out, and maybe she'll follow me back on Instagram.
Absolutely.
All right, dog. This was fun. I'll see you Sunday.
Absolutely. I'll see you Sunday. It's unfortunate we didn't have enough time to touch on McMahon, but we will next week because I'm sure you all have finished it by then. But
I'll finish it by then. Hey, we got to get a pregame show off Sunday.
yeah, we do. You know, there is that as well. Yeah. So.
Hey, Pops will be in town tomorrow.
Oh man, is he going? It's not cold enough to wear the jacket. I know he got some more swag for us. So.
Yeah, I think I have that same swag.
Yeah.
All right, dog.
Okay. All right, brother. Salutations, good people.
All right, man.
All right.